Race 4, scratch the number 2, Better's Lucky Streak. The horse is sick. Race 4, number 3, Dreams Beach Boy, Make the Driver. Yannick Gingras. Yannick Gingras drives the number 3, Dreams Beach Boy in race number 4. In race number 7, scratch the number 4, Pueblo Blue Chip, the horse is sick. Race 10, scratch the number 5, KJ Eric, horse is sick. And in race number 13, scratch the number 8, Little Man Cam, the horse is sick. Today's promotion is a Name That Colt, or Name That Filly, sponsored by Olive Ridge Farms. Submit a name you would feel be most fitting for the foal. If selected, you will be paid 1% of all on-track earnings as a 2- and 3-year-old, and that's sponsored by Olive Ridge Farm. We also have the North American Harness update here today. They'll be helping you throughout the afternoon with today's races. Also, when you're downstairs, you can sign up for the $1 Million Ball Drop. You can register once every live race day until August 19th. There will be a last chance qualifier on September the 3rd. Horseplay car giveaways after race number 8. Purchase a rubber horse, just $1. All money raised goes to a local charity. This month's local charity is the Southern Tier Alternative Therapies. After race 8, everybody lines up alongside the fence, attempts to throw the rubber horse into the moving 2018 Toyota Corolla. Of all the horses that land in the car won't be chosen, that person wins a $100 wagering voucher, plus gets a shot at winning the car on closing night. And there will be horses all over the track. That's when the kids take center stage. They go on the track, pick up the horses, bring them in, and it's ice cream on Tioga Downs. I'm with track handicapper Brett Reese. We're going to talk about 4 of our big races today, and I welcome Brett here. We're going to talk first about the Roll with Joe. It's for a purse of $143,000. It's open pace. We have the top 2 finishers from last year. Delta winner, the 1 and the 4, Rock and Ron, will meet again. And I'm going to go with Rock and Ron. This horse is just a warrior. He does things. He always gives his best effort. He's just always tough. He was second best last year. This year, I think he's going to be in the winner's circle. For second, I'm going to go with Dr. J. Hanover. Tony Alagna trained horse. Brett Miller drives. I like that horse for second. Again, a steady horse. Won 5 times in 13 starts this season. And then for third, I'm going to go with last year's winner, Delta winner. So I got 4-2-1 in the Roll with Joe. Let's go to Brett.
Okay, John, well, thank you. In today's Roll with Joe, I'm going to go to somebody who wasn't in this race here last year. I'll go to number 2, Dr. J. Hanover, and the only reason why I'm going to go to Dr. J. Hanover today is simply because of his early speed. I think Yannick Gingras, number 4, Rock and Ron, will be leaving the car early, but Dr. J. Hanover, a 146-4 mark, lifetime, the best in the whole group here. This one, if Rock and Ron leaves in front of him, I see Super Brett Miller retaking at the quarter, trying to set the tempo and back it down this short field of 5 here today. Definitely plays in the favor of Dr. J. Hanover. Brett Miller's going to try to control the race here today. I think that's going to be the go-to in today's Roll with Joe. But my second choice here, number 1, Delta Winner, comes out of the Dan Patch at Hoosier Park. If you watch the race, a lot of harness fans out there, I'm sure you've seen the Dan Patch. Everyone was watching as Lazarus N made his first start in North America. Delta Winner caught a bad shuffle past the half. If you look at the last quarter today, he did pace home in 25-4. I think driver Peter Wren that night was a little bit maybe irritated coming past the wire. He did have a lot of pace late. I'm going to go to Delta Winner for second because if they do pace fast fractions early on, look out for Delta Winner. He can rip it home in 25 today. He is one of the best horses in the country. And for third, I'll go to the horse that you talked up. Number 4, Rock and Ron, has already bagged over $440,000 this year in just 17 starts. That's a very, very good resume. I'll use him for third with Yannick Gingras in the bucket today.
Okay, we're going to go to race 7 now, the Empire Breeders' Classic for 3-year-old Payson fillies, and it's a purse of $270,425. And the one I like right off the bat is the 6, You Are My Candy Girls. She was impressive in her eliminations. Early on this season, though, she had a little bumpy go. She was the two-year-old Philly Pacer of the Year a year ago. She started off, she lost at Saratoga, did come here and won a race in the Sire Stakes at Tioga, and she won, but not impressively. And then she had a couple of bumps, but she won the Shady Daisy, and now had a very good EBC elimination, and she's going to be hard to beat in this one. And then the other winner, Alexis Faith, who I have now for second. I originally liked to play Blue Chip, but we'll go with Alexis Faith for second. She was pretty impressive. Didn't really have a lot of competition. She's got 9 career victories and has won over $330,000. I think she's going to be the toughest competitor, and Jimmy Morrill Jr. does well here at Tioga. So he's good at bringing horses out of nowhere. So that's who I have for second best. Then I'm going to go with Painted Lady. Tim Chetrick is the driver. Ross Krogan, the trainer. Didn't race as a 2-year-old. He's got 3 wins, 4 seconds, and 3 thirds. In 2018 was third in the elimination, and that's who I got for third. All right, Brett, what do you think?
Okay, the Empire Breeders' Classic here, John, for the 3-year-old fillies. I'm going to go to number 6, You're My Candy Girl, simply because speed favors here at Tioga Downs. If you watched all year long, the front end tends to be very, very good. But I did interview driver Yannick Gingras here last week, and he said to me, he said, I'm so high on her. He goes, if I just give her head off the gate, let her roll. He says she's so tough to beat. And everybody in the country, if you haven't heard, was talking about her first start this year when she went down to Saratoga, won a first quarter in 26, a half in 53 and a piece. She's the only filly in the country who could probably do that. She is very fast. I think if she gets an easy early lead, she's definitely the one to beat here today. And probably a lot of people single in the All-Stakes Pick 4 here today, which does start in race 6. We didn't go over that, so if you're interested, ladies and gentlemen, the All-Stakes Pick 4 starts races 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm sure everyone's going to go after You Are My Candy Girl, and if she gets beat, could light up that Pick 4 here today at Tioga. For second, I'll have the same horse as you. Number 1, Alexis Faith. Trainer Casey Coleman, very good here at Tioga Downs, very good resume. Same thing with driver Jim Morrill, the king of the Sire Stakes. Him and Wally Hennessy are very well known for that. I think this one, she might be sitting on a life mark here today. I don't know if she has shown us her best effort. That could be right here today in the Empire Breeders' Classic Final. And then for third, I'll go to a little bit of a long shot. Another one who I think could be sitting on a very big mile is number 5, I'm Trigger Happy. Has had some roughed up trips, 2 back in the Shady Daisy at the Meadowlands. Was very strong coming home, 26 and 2. I do think this one could be sitting on a big mile. And you get the Mighty Might here. How many times? 3 or 4 years? Leading driver right here at Tioga, Jim Crone Jr.
At least 4 years.
4 years, the Mighty Might won the driving title here at Tioga. He knows this track better than anybody. I'll go to him in my long shot selection for third in the Empire Breeders' Classic Final.
Okay, in the EBC Classic for 3-year-old colts and geldings, I have to lay on a favorite once again, and was the most impressive horse last week. Ran a 149 mile, was just a 5th off the track record. Courtly Choice, trained by Blake McIntosh, driven by David Miller, and this horse had plenty in the tank. And if it's pushed today, could set the track record and could give it a shot at the world record. We'll have to see how the pace is, but Courtly Choice just was dominating, and to me was the best horse we saw last week, and he should own this race. And got good competition. American history, second in the Adios final with Yannick Gingras, the driver. Tony Alagna is the trainer. 4 wins and 11 starts so far this season. Has been very impressive. Ran a very good race to win the elimination last week. So it should be between those 2 horses. I don't know if American history can stay with Courtly Choice, but that's what racing is all about. We'll find out. And then for third, I'm going to go with the 6, Hitman Hill. Brett Miller drives for trainer Chris Oakes. Was second to American history last week. It was right there. And I think if Hitman Hill can definitely compete for second, not sure if he's good enough for first, but those are my 3, 5, 3, 6. Courtly Choice, American history, and Hitman Hill. What do you think, Brett?
Well, it looks like we have the best, maybe the best 3-year-old colt pacer here today for the final. Number 5, Courtly Choice. I spoke with David Miller last week, and he simply said to me, I asked him about the mile up earlier in the year at Vernon Downs, where Courtly Choice left the gate from post 6, made a break, got back on, and paced a mile of 48 and change. I told him I have never seen a 3-year-old colt pacer do that, and he simply said to me that day he was keen to go on. I tried to push him at the quarter. He didn't want to go. So he said to me, he simply pushed button. But a little handicapping advice here today, ladies and gentlemen. I do not see number 5, Courtly Choice, leaving the gate early on just because David Miller knows he can come off the pace. And simply, you stated, John, number 3, American History, has a lot of early speed. He'll be my off-the-board pick here today, number 3, American History. I'm not one to be on him. My first choice, number 5, Courtly Choice, off the pace today. Push button like David Miller says. I'm looking for the Buckeye to do big things. Now, for second, another one that will be leaving hard early on, number 6, Hitman Hill. Last 6 starts, no worse than third. He's a big, big grinder. No matter what the fractions are early on, he'll stick with you. He never quits. Trainer Chris Oakes, batting .417 right here at Tioga. Super Brett Miller in the bucket. I like Hitman Hill for second. And then for third, we got to go to the home track advantage here. You'll see I put that in my Reese Racing review. Number 7, Ideal Feeling. Everybody here at Tioga has their fingers crossed here for number 7, Ideal Feeling. And his best attribute is his big late closing kick. I think Tim Tetrick, if he picks up maybe a second over or third over trip behind Courtly Choice, there's a slight shot. When they turn for home, you're going to see the Bionic Man go to work. Maybe Ideal Feeling gets the job done with the home track advantage. Here today, I'm going 5, 6, 7, right in order in the Empire Breeders' Classic Final for the 3-year-old Colton Gelding Pacers.
Brett is right. We are all rooting for, of course, the local trainer and just a great guy in Mike Dieters. We're going to go to race number 9. That is the Artiscape Open Mares. This proves to be a very good one as well. The very tough Sharton N comes in here, trained by Jimmy King Jr. and Tim Tetrick. 13 wins and 17 starts, including winning the Lady Liberty, and also won the Roses Are Red, and a lot of other races. Almost 700,000 just this year for this horse. Timmy Tetrick is the driver, but I'm going to go with the Pure Country, who won this race a year ago. Was the 2-year-old, the 3-year-old, and the older Pacer of the Year right in a row, and I just like this horse. Just fell short last week, at the Lady Liberty a couple of weeks ago, and I think Pure Country and Yannick Gingras with Jimmy Takter, the trainer, going to get their first win, surprisingly to say, first win of the season. So I'm looking for Pure Country to win that race. I'm actually going to go with Nike Franco, with David Miller as an upset for second. Came on hard, had a bad post position, came all the way up to 5th. Lost just by 3/4 of a length in that great finish at Lady Liberty. Just has 1 win in 10 starts, has 30 career victories. I like Nike Franco in for second, and then I want Sharton in for third, but any of those 3 can win. I think this is going to be the most competitive race of the day, the Artiscape Open Mares. Let's go to Brett.
Yes, John, I totally agree with you. This definitely looks like the most interesting race of the day. Now, you have 853. I have 398. I'm going to go to number 3, Sharton N. This one is 113 of 17 on the year for trainer Jim King Jr., driver Tim Tetrick, a regular in the bucket for this one. But I went to 398 because my second choice, number 9, Caviar Alley, was very, very impressive. Her last start at Harrah's, just a regular overnight race. Andrew McCarthy wrapped up in 149, winning by 3 lengths. Now, that came from pole position 4 at Harrah's. Today, you got to go all the way to the far outside here, post 9. I know driver Andrew McCarthy is going to be leaving early, but my third choice is your top pick, number 8, Pure Country. Yannick Gingras, again, going to have to leave hard early. Her life mark simply was a qualifier at the Meadowlands of 148. We know she can do big things. The question here in the Artiscape Open Mare Pace is what's going to be happening at the quarter. I mean, this is a very, very sketchy situation. You have 3 horses, look like all great horses, very competitive, but they're all going to want to lead early on. Could Nike Franco maybe come flying late? Could Pen Pal possibly come flying late? There's good closers in here and good early speed. I'm going to go 398, but this is probably the best Artiscape Open Mare Pace we've ever had here at Tioga Downs. definitely going to be a great race here today. This one, very questionable, 398 for me, John.
Okay, thank you, Brett, and we wrap up here. We'll be giving it to the North American Harness Updates. They do a great job if you've got a chance to see them, and they'll be here all day and through race number 9. So we'll welcome them in, and good luck, everybody. We hope everybody has a lot of fun. Should be some great racing ahead of us.
Have fun, guys.
I don't think so. Well, now it's our turn. For now, people are watching our feed. We're here. We're live. This is a little high up. Let me adjust that.
What are we doing? Don't mess with it.
It was up too high. It was up too high. Right now we're getting set up so we can come on, but they're playing a tractor commercial right now. You can see the tractor commercial on our live feed. Clinton Tractor, as a matter of fact.
How are we looking? We good?
Yeah, I was trying to think of like a Clinton pun, but I felt like attaching the word gore to a tractor was probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
As long as you can see them.
Alright. So now we're just waiting for our cue. Alright. Welcome everybody to Tioga Downs. We are the North American Harness Update crew live from the pre-game show set, now going to be the main game show set. I don't really like the sound of that, but you know, when you put pre-game, you gotta try and adjust how you pronounce it, but well, whatever. I'm Ray Catolo, joined here by Mike Prebosi and Ron Allums Jr., and boy, if you knew the lengths we go through just to be able to put on this show for you today, you'd be saying these guys are either dedicated or they really have no understanding of logistics and they need a lot of assistance with that. But we will be up with you through all of the stakes races today. We will be leaving after that, unfortunately, but we hope that we can try and get you some winners, particularly in these big races, which I think have a lot of potential, maybe for upsets, but of course at the same time, maybe for favorites too. You really can't ask for too much sometimes with racing as we roll into this program. Now, John Horn and Brett Reese materialized through the magic of television for us to be here on this table where they were moments ago, and we're going to be going over the same races that they did before we came on for their pregame show, for our pregame show. You following? I hope you're following. So the first one is the 6th race. It's the first of the main stakes races this afternoon, the Roll with Joe Open Pace for a purse of $143,000. Now, unfortunately, it's a short field because a lot of the 4-year-olds are up in Canada for the Prix d'été today up at the Hippodrome Trois Rivières, but still a competitive collection of horses. And Mike, starting with you, I see that you're going with maybe a bit of a potential upset.
I think Delta Winner is a huge chance. Won this race last year. Last 2 starts, really no chance. In the McKee got that bad shuffle. Flew late for 4th. Was against the track that day. Then last time against Lazarus, really no shot from where he was. Came up the rail late, kicked 25 and 4. This horse likes this racetrack. I like the post. I would expect Miller to go early. It has to contend with Dr. J, but I just feel like this horse has a little more class right now and has the best chance to win the race.
Interesting, because I'll bring in my opinion once I get Ron's opinion.
Yeah, my opinion is Delta Winner. He likes this track. He's won here before, and I think he's got a big shot, especially from the rail. He doesn't ever show a ton of gate speed, but he does have it. If you look down in the book, he's got a 27-1 first quarter, 27-2. So he can get out of there enough with these things if he really needs to. And I think he could work out a really nice trip here. And if he does get that perfect trip, he's going to be dangerous late.
Now, guys, I understand that he did win this race last year, but he also got the perfect setup. They went a little too fast up front. I don't really see that much of a pace setup here today, especially with only 5 horses, unless you have Rock and Ron and Dr. J. Hanover tussle. But truth be told, I'm in agreement with Reese as he was talking earlier. Dr. J. Hanover just seems primed for this race, and if he does not go off the favorite, I think he'll be tremendous value. Those 3 miles up in Mohawk are just better and better, and it seems like he's just been getting fine-tuned into this event. So Dr. J. Hanover might just by virtue of the setup of this race, as we define as trip, could win the roll with Joe. The next up, we have the Empire Breeders' Classic 3-year-old filly pace scratched down to a field of 8 with Pueblo Blue Chip scratching out, and I had a hard time trying to figure out if You Are My Candy Girl could somehow lose this race, because it just seems like she's faster than all of them.
She's faster, she's more classier, 1.1 million in the bank. I do feel like Alexis Faith can get a trip in the race, especially if Morrow leaves early from the rail. Should end up in the pocket, depending on what sort of pressure that she has to deal with early. This horse could bounce late. Has the class. 2 out of the last 3 races has won. 6 wins last year. She's good enough. She just needs a setup.
Setup indeed. Rod, the question here, though, You Are My Candy Girl seems like the definitive pace setter. Does she just get things her own way?
Well, I don't know if she's going to be the definitive pace setter, but I do think she's going to be near the pace. She can lead, but she's also known for taking a seat early and then making a move around the quarter pole. So I could see her doing that in this race again from post 5 now with the scratch. But I think the big key in the race is the one Alexis Faith. She's good enough. She's got the rail. She's got a little bit of early speed. We'll see how much she flashes today, and if she fires early, I think it could mix things up.
It seems like both of you are once again a fan of a horse that I do not necessarily like. I'm more a fan of the Krogan entry here of I'm Trigger Happy and Painted Lady. I don't necessarily know which one I have a favoring for towards at this moment because we don't have odds in front of us. But in the event that they get a bit crazy, because it's a big purse out there, $270,000, sometimes you want to maybe be a little bit more ambitious with your positioning, with how you play the race, could mix things up a touch, and maybe Alexis Faith is the catalyst of that. So I'm between those two if there is going to be an upset, but I recognize the fact that You Are My Candy Girl is going to be incredibly tough to beat moving on to the next race, the Empire Breeders' Classic Colt event. And this one here, Courtly Choice, has the speed, is good enough, but is he really the one to beat?
Well, I feel like Hitman Hill's the one to beat. Was excellent that Adios elimination. Then had no chance in the final. That was a bit of a boat race there. Really, nobody made up any ground on Dorsadero Hanover. Last time in the elimination here, ended up on the front. I'm not sure that's where he wants to be. I feel like is going to get a trip in this race. Courtly Choice, if he tends to sometimes get away badly, he can make him up against it here at a low price. I just feel like Hitman Hill's the one in this race.
Oh, I like the fact that Mike is going against the favorite. Rod, tell me you're going against the favorite too.
I might go against the favorite. It's going to depend on how the odds board plays out. But I think Courtly Choice is the horse to beat, and that's pretty obvious here. Heavenly Sound from the inside. This one, I don't like fingers.
I'm in agreement.
Heavenly Sound, inside post. Jim Marone Jr., I think he's going to be able to work out a trip here because there's not a ton of early speed. So if he can get off the gate well and get toward the front, he can sit the rail and let things happen in front of him. And if they do, he's going to be coming late.
Heavenly Sound, one of the few to gain ground in his eliminations. That's particularly why I like him. Now, the last event before we have to send it off for the Anthem, $161,000 Art Escape Open Mare Pace. Sharton, win or lose?
I like Pure Country. I thought she was fantastic in the Lady Liberty. It's her turn. I feel like she wins today.
All right, Rod, Sharton, win or lose?
I'm taking Sharton. I just can't go against her right now. She's too sharp, and she got a little bit of rest after that last race at the Meadowlands.
With how this race could set up, I think Sharton gets pressed. Apple Bottom Jeans potentially for a trip. She raced really well in the Lady Liberty. Might be looking for an upset there, but of course, it'll all be determined by what the odds say. We're approaching post time for today's first race. We're going to send it downstairs for the national anthem. All right, now we're back here on our regular feed. Ooh, this is going to be fun. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand you the mics. Instead of you taking it, because that wastes a second, I'll just bring it up to you, if that works.
Whatever you want.
That way we can kind of try and just keep it as smooth as possible. And now you're getting kind of the behind-the-scenes look of us. I didn't unbutton my coat. You're supposed to do that when you sit down. But then again, I've never really been one to adjust by customs. That's probably also why we had a hard time getting into Canada. Oh, we should probably stand up.
We probably should.
Yeah.
Dandy Farms is proud to announce the arrival of Sire World of Rock and Roll to Illinois. Regally bred World of Rock and Roll is by Rock and Roll Hanover out of Worldly Beauty, an earner of $1.9 million, and from the family that sired $3 million champion pacer Captain Treacherous. World of Rock and Roll, a winner on the Grand Circuit, has sired foals with a total of over $3.3 million in earnings, including 2-year-old filly pacer of the year in Ohio, Bad Girls Rule. Standing at Walker Standardbreds for $1,500, call Dandy Farms at 312-446-8310 or go to dandyfarm.com and book your mare today.
Join us September 3rd, 2018 at the annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale. Over 100 yearlings from top Illinois sires such as Doomside Perch, Sagebrush, Sportsmaster, Cassis, Pizzazzed, and many others will be sold. Recent sales graduates include 2018 Cardinal winner Holden Steady and 2017 Illinois 3-year-old Colt Pacer of the Year, Captain Red. Visit IlliniClassic.com for details. The Illini Classic Yearling Sale, where champions are found.
LeBlanc Designs has been in the harness racing business for over 20 years. Based in Truro, Nova Scotia, and beginning with clients from Truro Raceway, LeBlanc Designs now offers handcrafted and personalized helmet designs to some of harness racing's top drivers, including Tim Tetrick, Hall of Famer David Miller, Corey Callahan, and many more. LeBlanc Designs also offers airbrushing and vinyl designs for hockey masks, motorcycle helmets, and guitars. For more information, go to LeBlancDesigns.com or call it 902-899-7922.
We're back on our feet. We're waiting to get the cue from them. Because I don't know when they're coming onto the track for this first race. Here's an update on odds. Preppy Art, the favorite, at 9-5. Second choice then at 4-1. We have two of them. Joe, Larry, and Curly, the 2 horses, and the 3. Wynyard Hanover also at 4-1. We see the buglers just walking around. They're coming onto the track for this first race. Well, it sounds like he didn't warm up. I know that all too well. I was a trumpet player for 5 years. So Eric, we're going to just turn the mic on after the post parade, right? And narrate?
Yeah, after history post parade.
All right.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
They are coming onto the track for the first race.
That's all you can do, Eric. Eric's a great guy. He's the producer up here at Tioga Downs and at Vernon Downs.
So here's the post parade.
That horse isn't racing, by the way, if you're wondering. Why does he have a jockey? They're taller than I remember. I'm surprised Preppy Art's taking so much money, though. I didn't even recognize this horse.
Why not?
Because, sure, shipping from Yonkers, and that Plainridge Mile is okay, but I don't like the outside post.
Well, the thing about this horse is he was good at Mohawk, if you remember him, very fast up there.
Last year. Last year, yeah.
Well, last year, but, now, ever since the lame scratch, now it missed 3 months. Qualifier was decent. First start 8-hole at Plainridge, no shot. Then better race at Yonkers. Now ships here, faces lesser. 10-1 morning line was, incredible. I feel like that this horse is supposed to take money, and this horse can blast away from there. He's going to be up there early.
Well, I definitely recognize Joe, Larry, and Curly and Wynyard Hanover as 2 of the contenders here, and the board's reflecting that. Joe, Larry, and Curly looks like 5-2 and then 7-2 on Wynyard Hanover. Alaskan Sealster was a bit of an interesting one for me, just because he mostly sits from off the pace, but in his starts against weaker, he had been flying home late. You gained some ground last time out at this level, which makes me think at 5-1, he's taking some play, maybe if he sits off the pace. All right, it's time to go up. The mic says bye when you turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, when is John done talking?
I don't know.
We don't know.
But
I guess we're going to go. All right. Post time coming up for the first race here on this stakes-laden program. Favorite on the board at 2-1 rather, currently the 8 Preppy Yard. Now we were talking on our feed, which you can find over at NAHUpicks.com, as well as just on the simulcast as we carry you through these races. I was not necessarily expecting Preppy Yard or to be cut back to us, but Preppy Yard to be the favorite at 2-1. But Mike, you were talking about a lot of the back class he has, yet making his third start off that lame scratch. Do you really think that is enough to justify favoritism?
Well, I think that he should be favored, based on his Mohawk lines. I'm familiar with this horse because I watch a lot of Canada, but his last 2 starts are decent. 8-hole no chance from at Plainridge on the 6th. Then came to Yonkers. I thought raced very well to be second. Now I feel like this is a lesser bunch than he's been facing and has faced in the past. Gets David Miller, should be blasting out early, and big chance to win from there.
Now, Rod, I know as a horseman, the one thing you're wondering, just as I am now, we like to see these horses parading on the track, just in case you can catch some things about how they're moving and such, so hopefully we can cut back to the horses parading. I'm not a big fan of Preppy Yard here, yet on the board, the only real long shot price I was considering was the 6 Wild Bill M, just because he's moving up in class, but he's been racing really well against weaker in the past. How much do you think that class move up really means in a field like this?
Well, I'm not too concerned with it. He's got some back class. He's made over $100,000, so I think he's a use here. And you're getting pretty good value at 14-1 currently. My top choice here, the 2 Joe, Larry, and Curly inside post. Last week, raced okay, but gets Brett Miller today, and I really like the move to Brett Miller with this inside post. I think they're going to have this horse ready to roll today.
The horse definitely has a class advantage, too. It's also strange to see another one moving up in class, the 3, Wynyard Hanover, currently on the board at 7-2. As I also promised you, there is a race that's going to be happening. We will get the cue when to send it back there whenever that happens. But Wynyard Hanover, coming off of 2 straight wins, was the favorite in both of those starts. Does 4-1 seem a little bit low to you on that?
Well, the step up is, I think, maybe why the odds are what they are. But this horse has dominated these last 2 races. Has gained separation, especially around that final turn. He's sharp. He's going to be up front again because there's a lot of horses that, kind of sit in this race. I would say that if he gets away around that final turn again, gets that separation, big chance to hold on. It's a matter of, what does the 8 do off the gate?
That's a good question, Ron. What do you think the 8 does off the gate?
I don't see him leaving from out there. I think he sits and tries to pick up the pieces late. So, again, for me, the key in the race is the 2, and 5 and 6 I would use along with the 2.
The 2 can definitely work out a good trip, and that's also probably why we're seeing that he's now the favorite on the board at 2-1. I'm still a fan of Wild Bill M to potentially hit the ticket. He's at 16-1 currently, so that makes for some real juicy exactas if you ask me, because people are ignoring that class drop, but they aren't also recognizing that speed he showed last out from post 9, blasting to the front from the 9-hole here at Tioga. Not necessarily something a lot of horses can do, and that gate speed, even though there's the class disparity, could definitely put him into the race, and sometimes that's all it takes. As it looks like they're heading to the gate. We're going to send it off to John Horn for the call of the first. Good luck with all your wagers. Okay, I don't know why they weren't showing the post parade.
Want to show us?
Yeah, but they need to show the post parade.
Well, they did show the post parade. You mean show them scoring?
Oh, that's what I meant, yes.
Well, maybe they like us instead.
I don't know.
We can talk to them about that.
Yeah, hopefully Eric comes back up.
What are you calling this race?
I can just do like a British narration style, just because I want to
Yeah,
too
no,
loud.
I'm just going to turn.
You're gonna turn the volume on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't enough for us for radio.
No.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Joe, Larry, and Curly, and it's Wynyard Hanover outside. Alaska sails through 4 back to the early trailer. Iron Art Majors, they make their way around the first turn, and it's Wild Bill M now by a little over length. Spirit Shadow has to settle for the pocket trip second. Racing third, that's Preppy Yard. First quarter goes by 26-2 as they head for the stands the first time. And right back on the outside, here comes Spirit Shadow and Andy Santaramo. They will retake putting while Wild Bill M in the second. Gap of 2.5 lengths, Preppy Art Racing third. Inside Rock and Dodge outside. Moving up, here comes Joe Leary and Curly, followed by Wynyard Hanover as they head around the Hotel Terrace. One still shown away though, Spirit Shadow. The lead is a little over length. Half goes by 55 and 4. Tight second. That is Wild Bill M. Now going to the outside is Preppy Art and Dave Miller. Inside Racing fourth, Rock and Touch. Second over, now taking over fourth. That's Joe Leary and Curly, a length and a half. It's Wynyard Hanover on the outside, Alaskan Sealster. Inside the trailers, I'm an Art Major. They're all within 6.5 lengths as they head for the final turn. Still Spirit Shadow there, 3 parts of a length. Creeping up on the outside, that's Preppy Art. 3/4, 1:22 and 4. Inside, nowhere to go for Wild Bill M as they get ready to make that turn for home. On the outside, Preppy Art. On the inside, Spirit Shadow. They're nose to nose, wheel to wheel in the stretch. Spirit Shadow battling back out to reclaim by a length. Needing racing room badly is Wild Bill M and trying to sneak out now as they're in mid-stretch. It's Spirit Shadow, last launch for Wild Bill M. Spirit Shadow in front. Wild Bill M second. Preppy Art third. Close for fourth. 151 and 3 are opening mile.
Well, like I was saying on the feed, well, Wild Bill M definitely seemed like he could hit the ticket. Did get second, but I did not even recognize Spirit Shadow. Those miles he had against Tougher, well, they were against Tougher, didn't really stand out to me, but he did have excuses there if you look back. But again, it's a little late now to recognize that. That's why he was 10-1 most likely.
Well, he was 3-1 morning line though. 7 wins this year. That's more than anybody else in the race. So got his trip, and it was good, but not quite good enough. The 6 tripped out. We were close there, but just not close enough.
Well, the other thing too, it didn't seem like a lot of them were really coming from the back.
No. 1, 2, 3 early, finished 1, 2, 3 on the line.
Meantime, I have to go exit the set momentarily as you guys wait for the results of this first race. Ignore the loud
Where are
noises.
you going?
I'm going to the announcer's booth to wonder if I'm calling or not.
Okay.
I guess I'll move over then.
You gonna control the mic?
Yeah, I don't know how long he's going to be on there.
What's he going? What's he doing?
He didn't remember what race he was supposed to call.
He's shitting me.
Winner of race number 1, Spirit Shadow, the 4, at 10-1 off a 3-1 morning line. I didn't like him.
I didn't either.
Race
It's a
2.
good start if you were interested.
Race 2 coming up. So now winners of 7,500, class 5. Field of 8 here. We'll get to that race as soon as this race goes official, as we wait for prices.
So he didn't remember which race he's calling?
No, I believe Ray is calling race number 2.
Oh, okay. So he called 2 races last night at Vernon. If y'all were paying attention to that. I didn't do anything yesterday besides watch races. So the pick 3 starts here, Rod.
Got a pick 3 in race 2. Ray is calling second.
I think the pick 3 holds value. I'm not a huge fan of 60 or 50-cent pick 3s necessarily, but I think they get decent pools here. And they should have decent pools.
Here's the prices for Spirit Shadow: 22.20, 7.60, 5.10. 6 Wild Bill M, 10.80, 5.60. 8 Preppy Art, 3.30. Exacta 4.6, 2.56 even. 50-cent try, 4.68, 3.20, 75. 10-cent super, 4.685, $800
That
even.
looks like one ticket for the super.
That, yeah.
That's
a big
non-super,
super.
$800 for that. That was huge.
That was big.
You figure that's an $8,000 super.
Yeah.
I imagine that's one ticket. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
All right,
Race number 2.
Go ahead. Where are we at here?
We're waiting on the replay. Replay should be showing right now. There it is. And then we get to come back on the live feed. Yeah, we're showing the replay. We'll come back on here.
Do you think we're going to come back on live here?
We will after the replay.
Okay.
As there's 10 minutes to post for race number 2. No changes here. We're just waiting on the feed and this replay to finish. I think we had different horses here.
I don't know. I'm 251.
Not too far off here.
I like the post switch on the 2. I like the driver switch.
Yeah.
The horse is a little bit extra class. That race at Pocono 2 back raced really well in the front. Although, I don't know, the past couple days I've been watching this place and shippers don't seem to really do quite as well.
No, it's kind of tough. But the track could be playing front end today.
Well, in that case, do you think the 5 gets the front in the race?
More than likely.
Yeah. I mean, Yannick. Yeah, this horse has back class dropping. Has raced well here in the past. Raced at this level on June 3rd and got the front with Yannick, but just got tired. So. They're giving the order of finish and stuff. We have to be careful of that.
Yeah. So you can see the Yonkers. I think you can just toss that race out. 2 back was right up close and ended up winning the race. Raced very well there in 150 and 4 at Pocono. Against similar field there. I think Dave Miller jumps on. He's going to be tough to beat. Ben and Crosby, the 3, has been real close basically every week. He gets a check every week, very consistent. Just not winning all the time, but he is right there a lot, and I think he plays well here. The 5, the Wall, Yannick jumps back on after a little break in the action. That's my only concern with him, but if he fires to the lead, I think he's got a big shot as well.
Yeah, I agree with it too. There's a lot to like there. Class drop, it's shown speed in the pass, post switch. Dave Miller getting on, lots of different angles there. The 5 I think is very interesting, especially the way the track played in the first race. 1, 2, 3 around the racetrack, finished 1, 2, 3 at the wire. So this one's off a layoff for Surik. He usually has them ready to go. Yannick's always close to the front. This horse raced very well here in the past. If you look back in June at this level, this horse made the front in a 52 and 1 mile. That might be good enough to win this race, so I expect him to be up front. I think the 1 has a chance from this post. This horse flashes speed also, and should be up close early. Last 2 in the exacta are excellent. Decent at this level. I like the post draw. Should be close early. I think that any kind of trip out, especially if the 2 and the 5 go at it, he could be live late.
Yeah, I don't mind that pick either. And just glancing over the race, there's a lot of different variables here, especially with the early speed. There are several horses in here that show that early gate speed, so if that angle plays out, maybe we see a closer come and take this one late. But we will see, and we will be back after the post parade for race number 2.
What do you think of the 8 here? I was just looking at this horse.
Outside post is going to be tough.
Yeah, but his flash speed from outside post in the past. This horse shows speed everywhere he goes. Batavia, Pocono, has raced in the opens here.
I just don't know that he's going to be sitting close enough.
7 to 1.
I don't know if they're going to go fast enough. That's the thing.
Oh, here's Ray. Oh, 12 for race
again, we were talking pick threes. I feel like that there's value here, especially starting this race, a wide open race. The next race, I really think there's pretty much 2 horses that can win, the 2 and the 4. I'm not sure if you looked at that race. And the last race, though, extremely wide open. Prices there, like the 5 Electric Western is interesting. The 3 Dreams Beach Boy gets Yannick there. I like the post switch, definitely interesting. So there's some value in pick threes if you're interested there.
Yeah, I mean, this race especially, it really is a wide open race. So the next race, I like Royal Witch.
Oh, really?
Coming down from Woodbine. I like the Woodbine shippers.
I do too.
And, you know,
she's been good, but I feel like the 4's been a little better. But
off and on, but
the 6 does flash more speed.
The 4 has missed 3 weeks also, which is a little concern for me.
She's always kind of had, 6 starts this year, only 14 last year. She's always lightly raced. But, like the 2 hasn't won a race all year, the 3 hasn't won a race all year, the 1's only won 1.
But you are getting first-time Yannick on ice attraction.
Well, that's interesting because that horse always comes from off the pace. And
then race number 4, I thought that one was wide open too. Yannick Gingras driving the 3 Dreams Beach Boy in race number 4. Kind of a tough race because you can't really separate like 5 of them.
I would tend to, look at speed there.
The 2 Bettor's Lucky Streak is scratched there as well.
I don't mind 3 on the post switch. I don't mind 5. I feel like it's going to be up early. This horse has back class also. The 6 is interesting, but that horse has been racing mostly on a half. I don't know if you want to go longer on the main feed. Like you had to wrap that pretty quick.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, they're coming out at 2 minutes to the post. You send it back at 5.
Yeah.
We just have to, keep an eye on that, obviously.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out when.
I mean, you don't want to run long, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when they're coming out.
3 minutes. Well, now you do. So. But we'll talk to Ray about that too. Look at the board here. 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 on the 5. The 1's 13 to 1. I have no problem with that. The 2's 6 to 1.
5-1 on the 2. That's good value on the 2.
Well, 3 is getting no action whatsoever. Ray had mentioned he was watching this horse warm up prior to he was, kind of having a hard time warming up. So I don't know if that means anything or not. But.
No, that's what I told Ray. There's horses. He said he was galloping, which is fine. A lot of horses will do that because they just like to do it.
See, that's how you have a better perspective on that. I might have to play a pick 3 here. They should put a tote machine in this booth for us. How can we get that in there?
Yeah, well, we're not going to get one in here. It's got to be connected and everything else.
Come on, Rod. Is that too much to ask? I think I can figure out another way.
Maybe.
I want to see how much is in the pool here before I do anything. About 1,300.
Yeah, right now the board is playing very well into my favor because I like the 2 Mariner Sealster at 6 to 1 currently. This one, I mean, it's great value right now. And then you look at this tote board. A lot of horses are very evenly bet here. There's no definitive favorite. Current favorite, the 5, the Wall. I think with the Yannick and Nick Cirque connection there, that's why this horse is taking a lot of money. My biggest thing is the layoff. He's missed 2 months, and that's a little bit of a concern for me. So I'm looking for value elsewhere, and right now I'm getting it with Mariner Sealster.
agree on the two, but I think a couple of long shots. I'm sure, Ray, you'd be interested in these two. The one talked about a little earlier. Right now, 12-1. Should get an early spot in the race. And another horse that could flash early speed that is currently 15-1 is the 8. I believe this Bob. This horse had raced in the Open last time and has been racing at upper levels, all year. Has made almost $30,000. Does flash speed from outside posts. If Byron decides to blast, and he's known for blasting, he could get a spot early and maybe shake things up at a price. I don't know if Ray can hear us.
Well, Ray's not talking, so I'm going to keep talking. Like you said, Ben Crosby, he fits well. Basically, any class he's in optional 25 claimers. He's in non-winners of 7,500, non-winners of 5,000, the Open 2. He's very versatile that way, and I think this is a nice spot for him. He should be able to get a nice trip here, and he's still playing at a decent price. So we will see. Ray, what do you think? Ray is talking to us right now. We're listening to him. Let me see. Here we go.
All that at 6-1 just seems like a gift to me. And as I mentioned to Victoria Yale, dropping from the Open here on the board.
There we go.
Starter, getting ready to call this field for the second. The wings of the gate are opening. The starter calls the field.
I'm not going to get this in.
The Wall, the current favorite here on the board at 7-5. Second choice then at 5-2. Now the 7, Doo-Wop Hanover, as the click has the Wall. Now at 3-2. 7-1 action then on the 2, Mariner Sealster, and the 3, Ben and Crosby. Field of 8 lined up, moving around the turn to the backside. Second race field in motion, in line, in behind, into the backstretch, and approaching the start. Away and pacing and moving out for the lead to the inside comes Mariner Sealster with Ben and Crosby alongside. Guitarra Yale tried to lead but abandons that attempt as Lomont Capri protects positioning towards the inside. The Wall then is parked out, now pacing fourth around that turn. Doo-Wop Hanover then tucking back third to last. Mikado Blue Chip second to last. And then last of all comes Believe This Bob as they circle around that first turn. Mariner Sealster controlling the tempo to that first quarter. Parked out and moving comes Ben and Crosby through that 26-4 opening panel. Catching that cover, the Wall now moving 3 high for Gingras as he's in pursuit of command, coming past 3/8 and towards that clubhouse turn. Now on front, the favorite, the Wall, leads here by about a length and a half as Ben and Crosby sits in the pocket. Doo-Wop Hanover left uncovered third with Mikado Blue Chip on his back, moving up to be fourth, locking in Mariner Sealster in fifth. Sixth then, Lomont Capri shuffled back as Guitarra Yale enters that flow towards the back of the pack, past the half in 55-1. 28-2 that second quarter down the back stretch. The Wall facing outside pressure from Doo-Wop Hanover. Those two match strides, moving that three-quarter pole. Stocked here by Mikado Blue Chip second over, looming the danger only a length and 3/4 away. Gapping to the inside, Ben and Crosby. Third up in that flow then comes Doo-Wop Hanover as they go on past 3/4. Rather, Believe This Bob, past 3/4, 122 around the final turn off that 26-4 clip. The Wall fights on to the inside. Doo-Wop Hanover to the outside. Those two inseparable to the top of the lane. Mikado Blue Chip ducked to the inside. He's looking for room back in third as they come for home. Outside, Doo-Wop Hanover has the advantage. Down and Katari Yale, and will leave this bob to his inside. Doo-Wop Hanover needing the line. Katari Yale flying late. Doo-Wop Hanover holding on in the end as Katari Yale flew to be second from Believe This Bob, with Mariner Seals to the outside two, and a photo for fourth. 150, 1-1.
That played a little more even, but there was a lot more action.
7-4-8-2. Unofficial top four.
Well, the 8 had a chance there late at 25 and just couldn't.
2 was absolutely loaded with pace and couldn't get out until way too late.
Yeah. That was a death shuffle. Really no chance.
He never shook loose until the 16th to go and was just flying.
There was a lot of action there, though. Everyone tried to get the front early.
Yeah.
But
it was a big mile by Doo-Wop Hanover, first over the whole way, basically.
just listen right here, maybe turn him up.
Heading into the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of the second race, number 7, Doo-Wop Hanover. 7-year-old bay gelding by Rock and Roll Hanover out of the Arts Place mare Deer Valley Miss. Owned here by Peter Blood and Rick Burks. Mike Dieters, the trainer. Brett Miller in the bike to give this one his 20th win lifetime and his 6th victory this season. Number 7, Doo-Wop Hanover. The inquiry sign, though, is up. And the inquiry sign up in today's second race.
Inquiry.
Inquiry concerns the final turn. And these will all take us to the results to be declared.
We're waiting to see what the inquiry's on. We don't know. There you go. You're watching the live view of the inquiry. Who's the inquiry? I believe the 7 and the 5 may have got hooked up there.
And 7 won the race. That's hard to tell on that angle. Definitely traded paint there, huh?
Oh yeah.
That might have been more the 5 than the 7, though.
Yeah.
Just from my
I think it's gonna stand.
Oh boy. Did the 8 beat the 2?
Yep, no change in results.
No changes made. Inquiry sign down. The results
Yeah, shut that off.
still staying unofficial. And no change here.
Alright, moving on. Start to get the stakes races going here.
The Miss Versatility leg 3 on the trot.
Good race. I think Ice Attraction's going to take a lot of money. Getting Yannick.
Yeah, I agree.
Could get a change in style, too. He's going to need one. I mean, 0 for 9 this year. Made most of that money last year. And a couple of that big race in Kentucky. That was a couple, what was that, about 300,000? What was
Yeah.
that race? Whenever she upset Ariana G.
I think it was a $400,000 race.
Yeah, so, I mean, she's still won 6 times last year. I liked her on Hambo Day, but it was just a different closer that won that race.
Yeah, she raced well there.
that.
Not a whole last time.
Yeah,
no
it was
shot.
tough from that spot. That's the thing. Tough spot to be in there, and the outside post does not help her. She's good, but the key is where does she get away? She might have to grind first over and taking all that money. She could get tired later.
I could see her first. I mean, she probably has to be first up. She's not getting the front in here. I would imagine the 6 does. Or the 5. I mean, the 5's known to lead. Her best races are on the front, even though you don't see that here.
Got 12 minutes until race 3.
These so far, these payoffs have been excellent.
Yeah, if you're playing and you're hitting, you made a lot of money so far.
I mean, these Don Supers have both paid well. We liked the 8 there, but at least I did. But I wasn't a fan of the 7.
I thought 7 had a shot just because of the driver change, but the post was the issue for me.
Well, the thing is, they didn't settle around that first turn. Everybody just kept coming. When the 1 and the 2 cleared early, the 7 and the 8 just kept, or the 6 and 5 and 7 just kept coming, and that kind of made the race set up a little different than we expected. So anyway, let's look at early odds. 1 to 2 on a sunny day. That's interesting. And a little surprising.
1 to 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's early days, but
yeah, I don't like that.
about 1,000 in the win pool currently.
It's still a significant amount. Just on her, probably $500.
Yes.
So large early win bet
I
on
do
the
like
floor.
her in here. I mean, she's
Yeah,
been
she's
very good.
She's my third choice here.
Those are good races. She's basically been pulled, grinded it, and just kept on going. I mean, steamrolled first up 3 out of those 4 races. There's nothing wrong with those miles whatsoever.
No, I think she plays.
She's been very good. But if you're looking from a class standpoint, obviously the 2 has a huge edge. And the style is the question, I would say. So, yeah, she's shown that she can. The 2's shown that she can leave before. I mean, if you look 3 back, she was second at the quarter. 55 and 4.5, and raced, actually, that was one of her better races. She was second to Hannelore by half a length at 46 to 1. So,
yeah,
it's not that she can't be raced that way. She's always raced from behind. So,
we noticed they're dragging a couple minutes here and there, coming out a little bit later than normal.
Well, right now 10 minutes to post. They came out at 2 last time, so.
Yeah. Here is the order of finish from race 2.
Look, Ben and Crosby, not so good. The wall, not so good. The one
Yeah,
that had a
they
chance
got
in that
used
trip.
early.
Yeah.
2 had no chance with that trip.
2 was good, though. Ray's finishing up his duties as announcer. I don't think there's some back toss currently. Still on radio.
Yes, we are.
One can only hope. Okay. Alright. Well, we tried pick 3s and failed.
That's alright. I don't know if they have a promotion going right now or not.
They might. Money's starting to even out now, the 2, 3 to 2, along with the 4. I would expect the 2 to be a sub-even money favorite whenever it comes on.
We're back for race number 3 here, the Miss Versatility Open Mare Trot. This is leg number 3 of this series. And a field of 6 here. Current favorite, the 2 Ice Attraction. Looks like 6-5 currently. Plenty of even money spread throughout the betting board here early on. But, 8 minutes to post now. There's going to be more money put on Ice Attraction here, I think, with the addition of Yannick Gingras today, and an inside post. Looks very good. Going to be tough to beat, I think, but I'm going to try to beat her. The 6 Royal Witch, Scott Zeron for Ben Bayerjean. Ships in from Woodbine and has been in very good form recently. Has some early speed if she wants to use it. If not, I don't see a problem with sitting in the back here. There looks to be enough early speed in this race, so I'm going to go there. Ice Attraction, my second choice. For third, I'll go with the 4 On a Sunny Day. Another one shipping in from Woodbine for this series, and has been racing very well and actually beat my top choice 2 starts, or was it her last start up there at Woodbine. She's very versatile type. She also likes to come from off the pace, but she can leave as well. So, very interesting race here. The betting board is saying the same thing, but I'm taking the value from the outside post on the 6 Royal Witch.
Oh, yes, Rod, that was me calling the last race. I'm so glad that you were talking about how great of a race call that was, by the way. The third race coming up, the Miss Versatility Open Mares Trot, as I nonchalantly just slid back here onto the set upstairs. 6-horse field, sometimes it's hard to try and get some value in these kind of races, but looking at the board right now, early on a Sunny Day, was taking a lot of money. It was on the board at even money, and it looks like it's 5-2, 9-2, 5-2 on the board, with Ice Attraction being the favorite. Ice Attraction, of course, does have the class advantage because the Joie de Vie was the collection of all the top mares in this division, with Dream Together winning that one, and she, of course, won here last week in the mare trot they have here, which the name is escaping me, the Joie de Vie. That's right, I'm thinking the Steel Memorial at the Meadowlands. I called that the Joie de Vie, and that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why you prepare before you come onto a set. But Ice Attraction, definitely a sharp one. She has been sharp most of her career, but she sometimes just has problems working out the right trip. But today from the inside post, there's not really much of an excuse, particularly with this small field. However, I think I'm still a bigger fan of Barn Bella, who parked the mile in a race here at Tioga last out against the boys, was third behind Obrigado, who we know is a really nice trotter. Not only that, a male trotter. Those are much harder to beat than mare trotters, at least just with how the sport usually works, and yet also takes the hobbles off. An interesting move here by Smedshammer, who also hops back aboard, and currently at 5-2, I think that that's where the value is.
Not for me. I'm more on a Sunny Day. Again, I follow a lot of Woodbine. This horse's last 4 starts, basically pops up and grinds out first over and just steamrolls around that final turn. I would expect a similar sort of trip in this race, depending on how the 1 and 2 shake out early. If you look at Ice Attraction, she's obvious, her class, and she's shown speed in the past, gets Yannick now, was second to Hannelore, 3 back at the Meadowlands, whenever, leaving early, so she can do it that way. Still 0 for 9 this year, though, and that's, an interesting problem. On a Sunny Day, I feel like right now is going great guns. It's a short field, that doesn't hurt her whatsoever. Right now, 3-1. I would expect her to drift just a little bit more as those inside 2, take money. 3 to 4 to 1 is great value, I think, on the 4.
And then you have 11 to 1 on the 6 Royal Witch, who's exiting some of those races as on a Sunny Day. So potentially, if you're a fan of that one, you gotta like the 11 to 1 on the 6 as well.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. This horse has raced very well. These horses are facing the boys up there too. I mean, B Yo-Yo's a classy horse. Catch the Dream. I mean, those horses have won hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, these horses have class against the boys. Drop back in against, open mares types here. They're not up against it by any means.
Post parade time here for the third race. We'll be back momentarily. And we're back here on this set.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it smoothly.
That is how you do it.
You didn't hear what you said. I didn't catch you hearing it because it's so dim on the headset. you asked for me to talk, and I said, you guys need me? He said, oh, you're not talking. All right, then. And I went out on the live feed.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you, Ray.
And then,
vaguely.
My one qualm is I blew the last turn call because that headset kept falling off.
Oh my God. Was it the hair or what?
No. I'll give you the exact quote John Horn said. Some really fat guy came in here one day and stretched it out.
Oh my God.
We got the photo finish guy agreeing with us there. If there's anything I know the photo finish guy is good at, it's calling close calls. So, third race they're parading right now. How do they look right now, Rod? Look like horses?
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I do want to say I'm doing really well for picking horses to complete the exacta so far today. A 12-1 and a 14-1, or 12. Was he 14-1 that last race, Katari?
Yeah, he was big.
That's the only part I've been right about. The win part, I haven't really caught on to that well, but at the same time, doing Taylor 5-2, not a bad price. The wall was incredibly overbet there.
Yeah, you're right. Hindsight 2020. I thought the horse raced exceptionally well.
Waiting for John to finish up.
I don't know if it was value, but it certainly was after he got there.
Yep. It's really hard to hear us. I get maybe that much.
Is it hard to hear us out there?
No, it's hard to hear from in here.
Oh, yeah.
Is John done talking? Okay. Back upstairs on set, getting ready for the third race. Favorite here, Ice Attraction still looks like going down in price. 5-2 by the looks of it. My eyesight may be a little bit deceiving. I need some confirmation. Give me a nod, a no, an E. 6-5. 6-5. Okay, now I'm reading it much better. I'm liking 7-2 though on Barn Bella, drifting up on the board. And sometimes, Mike, you see a horse with the class of the 2 Ice Attraction, you have to ask yourself that classic question of a handicapper: how much does the class really mean here?
I think it means a lot. This horse is made for $550,000. Has been facing the top, mares in the country all year long. So, this is a drop for her. There's no doubt about it. Even when she raced in this versatility, she ran the Handler Hanover. So, there's no handlers in here. She's supposed to win this race. I mean, let's not, kid ourselves. A lot of these other horses are racing in overnights, but I feel like they're decent overnights, and they stack up okay, from a class standpoint. But the 2 is obvious, looking at the paper.
And we see 2 long shots on the board as well. One in the 3, the and the other in the 5, Pink Pistol. Now, clearly those 2 are outliers on the board looking at it, because you have Royal Wish at 9-1, and then you have this big gap into the 30-1 range for the and Pink Pistol, both of them up there. Rod, I understand that for mare triers there aren't necessarily many opportunities for them to race outside of overnight races. Do these 2 do you feel like they really belong against this group?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. They're quick enough. They're very nice mares, and they like to win. That's a big thing. The 6 Royal Witch, which I mentioned earlier, was my top pick here. 9-1 currently. It's great value. She's been razor sharp her last few starts, and Scotty Z jumps on with the ship down from Canada. The horse looked great on the racetrack. I'm sticking with her. Ice Attraction dropping, currently even money. Likely going to go off sub-even money, so I'm looking for the value play, and I'm going to go with Royal Witch on top of Ice Attraction, the 2, and the 4 on a sunny day.
I never noticed how little you actually move when you're doing this show until now, and especially when I was up in the booth. I was going, when are you going to move those shoulders at least? Maybe put the hand up in the air like that. I don't know. That's what I do at least. I still like 4-1 here on the 1 Barn Bella, because that's way better than the 7-2 that we saw earlier by about $1, and that dollar can mean a lot, especially if you start betting a little bit more and more. I'm seeing the pools are at least very decent so far in the first 2 races, and they'll only be getting better as we get closer and closer to stakes action. This, of course, includes included in the stakes action. Though I think Ice Attraction at even money is a little low. At the very least, I may be looking to try and play a triple with Barn Bella on top to try and get some of that value. Ice Attraction I definitely feel can hit the ticket, and maybe because of that inside post, the Erm gets up in there, but in all honesty, the one long shot I don't think can really get into the mix is Pink Pistol, just because this is a big move up in class when you see Royal Witch has been racing against the near preferred levels at Mohawk, as has On a Sunny Day, while Pink Pistol is racing closer towards the bottom level there. That to me seems a little bit troubling.
Well, the thing about Pink Pistol is she ran into A-Rod Hall last time, which, that's a top-level horse, and she was on the way up, he was on the way down, so that's not a bad line. It's just, kind of making her way back up through the ranks and the condition levels. They're taking a shot here in a short field. I mean, they still pay down the fifth. She could get a check in the race.
Well, here's another thing to note, too. I'm looking at exactas as well. Barn Bella is paying $15 on top of Ice Attraction, so maybe that's where the value is, too. But it looks like they're making their way around the turn towards the top of the stretch. That can only mean one thing. The starter car is getting ready to go for the third race. This is the first of two divisions of the Ms. Versatility, the third preliminary, one of many stakes today here at Tioga Downs this Sunday. We're going to send it off to John Horn, who has the call here of the third race. That was smooth. Except my transition in here. I want like when I did at Hawthorne when I came in and I just interrupted. I was trying to figure out how to do something like that again. You don't get many opportunities.
Versatility, the first division.
Now it's time for the third race.
Trotters are lining up the field. The sixth in favor on the board right now is 2 Ice
We said
Attraction.
that already. Well, I'm restating it because I was talking
on a
again.
sunny day.
Can you move vitamin water?
Trotters head around the hotel turn. Third race Trotters have reached the top of the back stretch. They are ready to go. And they are off. And lead from the outside is Pink Pistol and Tim Dietrich. On the inside, it's Ice Attraction. Right now, on the outside, now taking over second. That's On a Sunny Day. Gap of 3.5 lengths. Barn Bella has got a spot in fourth. A length better than the Erm. The early trailer is Royal Witch as they race around the first turn. On the inside, Pink Pistol. On the outside, now going off stride is the 4 On a Sunny Day. And now ready to take over is Yannick Gingras and Ice Attraction as they head for the stands the first time. First quarter goes by in 28-2. And Ice Attraction leads us one a length and a half. Setting out to the pocket, that's Pink Pistol. A gap of 3.5 lengths. Barn Bella's racing third. Racing fourth. About 5 out right now with 5/8 of a mile left is the Erm. Followed by Royal Witch, and now back within about 7 lengths. Caught the rest of them is On a Sunny Day and Andrew McCarthy as they head around the hotel turn. Ice Attraction went off at 3 to 5. Leaves us one a length and a quarter half. 57-3. Still right there second is Pink Pistol in a gap of 3 lengths. It's Barn Bella on the inside. On the outside, first over comes Royal Witch. And on the inside, fifth, it's the Erm, the trailer. On a Sunny Day, he's got 7 to make up. Less than 3/8 of a mile to do it. As they head for the final turn, Ice Attraction still showing away a length and a half. On the inside, Pink Pistol tiring a little bit. Now go to the outside, first over. Royal Witch will now take over second. Following that covers On a Sunny Day. Inside fifth, it's Barn Bella. The trailer now is the Erm. 3 quarters went by. 125 flat. They get ready to make that turn for home. Gingras still has Ice Attraction there by a length and a half. Going all stride is Royal Witch. She is on a break, and now coming to the outside out of the pocket. Here comes Pink Pistol and Tim Dietrich, gaining with every stride. On the inside, Ice Attraction. On the outside, Pink Pistol. They're nose to nose, wheel to wheel. It is two goals to call. Either the inside horse, Ice Attraction, outside horse, Pink Pistol. Time of the race, 1:53-2.
Yeah, we're on the wrong Canadian horse.
The photo finish sign is up. Photo. Race 3, a good one to start things off.
I at least turned my mic back on to come back on our feed there. Ice Attraction holding on over Pink Pistol. This is getting kind of inception. How many voices do we need talking at once? Thank you very much. You gotta love when that old adage where you say, this is the one horse I don't think could possibly get involved, and they finish second.
Well,
It's hard to predict breaks and such, too, of course.
yeah, and the 4 and the 6 both ran in the race. The 5 was driven perfectly, and like I said, that wasn't a bad line last time.
Mm-hmm.
She fit.
And Barn Bella just seemed like she was given that classic Smithhammer conservative drive, rather.
Raced well enough.
She did race really well. She was coming home strongly. Was cover up the whole way, so she wasn't really given that many options to finish up too well. But Ice Attraction, of course, was the one that was supposed to win, and she won.
Dug in late and won, yes.
What was she, 4 to 5?
3 to 5.
3 to 5, okay. What's that exact paying? 3 to 5 or 50 to 1?
I will check for you.
That looks like $50 to me.
67.
I'm always so dead on with these prices. It's like I've been doing this for a long time, but that doesn't necessarily justify any kind of what's the term, respect. As it was
Not as much as you'd like.
As it was 2 5 1 4 2 5 1 4 2 5 1 4 3 6. So that's the 2, the 5, the 1, the 4, the 3, and the 6. So top down, that's 3 1 5 4 2 6.
That was a good race.
Yeah, it was a good release movement. Nice attraction to heading back to the winner's circle. Although you can't see that, you're seeing us right now looking at it. This is where I feel like we turn like one of those YouTube channels that becomes almost so unaware of what they're doing that they're just reacting without presenting what they're reacting to.
No, I know what's going on.
Well, no, I know you know what's going on. It's just I'm trying to give it a context that most likely half of our viewers don't even understand.
That's why we explain everything.
Well, that's also why, too. I came back to Mike after I called the third at Vernon, and he said no one understood. He said Bitcoin's riding the blockchain. Which, that is one of the smartest things ever said in an announcer's booth, if I've ever heard any.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Didn't people tell you it's not polite to point? I think you told me that. Well, Brett Reese's there right now. But he's on a delay. We can hear him. Of course you can hear him. He's Brett Reese.
Let's see who Rod had in this race.
Yeah,
Race 4?
No, race 3. Race 4. It's a weird race because it's the open.
It's the open, and post position 1 has been assigned in race number 4. Scratch the 2.
Better's lucky streak.
And the 3 will be driven by Yannick Gingras.
Yep. Yannick Gingras will be on the 3. Dreams Beach Boy. That's a strange driver change. Just because Zerhan's here right now.
It is. And he drove the worst last time, too.
Yeah. Sounds personal.
Yeah.
As we got some prices now. Give us some prices, Rod. Oh, no, we don't. 3 to 5 over 53 to 1 over 9 to 2 over 5 to 2, the top 4. And now we have our dividends. 340, 250, 210 on the 2 Ice Attraction. Pink Pistol, 850, 350, and then the 1 Barn Bella, 340. $2 exact, the 2 5 $67. The 50-cent trifecta, 41.75 or 83.50. And the 10-cent superfecta, 2 5 1 4 $25.70. That 83.50, of course, if you bet it for $1.
That's a good payoff so far.
They usually are
Very
in Tioga.
Very good payoff so far.
Especially these non-supers, they're paying massive.
Well, like we saw this happening at Vernon last time, or on Friday too. Almost the last night. But last night we didn't do anything. Well, we were doing lots of stuff. It's just not doing show stuff. On Friday night, they were betting a lot of drivers, and for instance, Corey Braden there was on a horse that should have never been 12 to 1. That horse was dropping from the open back into a Lovely's race. Well, it was entirely absurd. But they see Gingras on the 5, the wall. They see Nick Surik. They see a drop in class, and they go, "Oh, this horse is going to crush."
Well, a lot of times drivers get bet. I mean, that's just the nature of this game. So.
And time again, you hear me say that.
Yes.
Yes. But more so,
Ray-isms. We have these Ray maxims.
I'm trying to work them up to be close to Yogi-isms.
Yeah.
Oh, I said something to you yesterday that sounded like a Yogi-ism that now I have to remember, but I didn't write it down.
Like the bear?
He means Yogi Berra.
Yeah. No, nobody ever eats from the picnic baskets. There's too much food in them. That's a Yogi Bearism. As we get ready for this fourth race again, we said the scratch of the two bettors' lucky streak, so there's 7 horses going posted here. We'll get more in depth into the race after the replay, which
532 to 1.
I don't know any odds right now.
I'm looking at them.
Oh, okay. Well, they're all so tiny. Okay, so the 1 is 11 to 1. Okay, the 3 is 2 to 1. The 4 is 2 to 1. The 6 is 5 to 2. Okay, so the 3 horses that I mark are all the favorites. That makes me feel really great about this race so far.
Not me.
I was kind of looking at Lions Johnny though. I don't really know how to gauge the class though.
We watched those B-level horses last night. I don't think they stack up well, but this horse lost to Doo-Wop Hanover 2-back, who just won race 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, let's face some decent ones.
And plus, he's usually up towards the front. He has the rail today. He can at least get a position.
I sort of prefer others. I mean, the post switch on the 3 is interesting. Likely, leading early.
Mm-hmm.
I like the 5 quite a bit. That last race was very good on the step up. Those races at Yonkers and Pocono are very good. This horse is very sharp right now. The 6 is sharp on half-mile tracks. From the 7-hole last time in a $40,000 race at Harrington, finished second in a fast mile. I mean, that's a fast mile, 51 there.
And then you have a horse like Dee's Rocket Man, who usually he can show speed. I shouldn't say usually. Sometimes he kind of ducks back and retreats, but other times he gets up towards the front for those outside posts. He did so 2 back from post 5. And in the Open 2 back on July 1st, he did. He almost went wire to wire, but again, that's the Open 2.
I mean, he has 10 wins this year.
And he's 25 to 1.
That's horse that's won 10 times this year is 25 to 1.
That's sad.
Beach Memories has a ton of class too.
That's why he's been racing in the 40,000 claimers at Yonkers.
40 claimers at Yonkers are tough races. They go for 22,000.
Nothing says I have a really good horse like please take him off my hands.
Yeah, you gonna claim one for 40?
Does it look like I have $40,000?
Then don't knock it. There's nothing wrong with those races.
If I did, we'd have an
I
extended.
wish I owned a 40 claimer.
If I did, we'd have more than one mic to pass around.
We wouldn't call you the thrift shop pimp.
Where do you think
he is thrift shop pimp today, boy.
Where do you think I got this shirt and tie?
We need to work on that tie game too.
What do you mean that tie game?
You need a pink tie.
Oh, a pink tie. Oh, they're doing a promotion thing right now. This is a good tie.
A little donation.
This is a great tie.
I'm gonna donate something to the Ray Catello Tie Fund. After my winnings yesterday.
It's gonna be like a pink stripe with a water balloon.
Something
on
more
the end
you.
of it. What do you mean that's more me? It's gonna have blood on it? Is that what you're trying to say? Good to go.
It's probably been a rough week.
Fourth race coming up here in about 9 minutes. It is the Open Handicap Pace for a purse of $12,000. We're scratched down to a field of 8 with the 2 bettors' lucky streak, saying, you know what, I didn't really feel like wanting to go today, so he's going to be out, leaving us with 7 other betting interests. As I looked at how the odds opened up on the board, I felt really great with how I've had this streak of long shots, especially in that last race when that 50 to 1 shot, who I said could never get into the mix, finished second. I have the 3 favorites now as my top contenders in this race, so I'm trying to look outside of that because it's the Open Handicap. Sometimes you can try and work out a decent price, and we were talking about the 1 Lions Johnny, who has the assigned post here. And Mike, do you really feel that could actually bring him into contention?
Well, I think his speed brings him into contention. And 2 back he lost to Doo-Wop Hanover. That horse won the 2nd race today. Wired a field, a Class B field at Vernon last time at 3 to 5. So that's a drop in type, score there. Steps back into the tougher ones here. Has raced well this year. 6 wins out of 26 races. From the rail, could trip out. The horses near the front have done well today. There is some speed in the race, though. I think he's going to have to contend with some of them on the lead.
I just want to mention that the camera crew came in here with slices of pizza, and they did not have 3 for either of us, so I am feeling slightly offended. Rod, I need my wills to be lifted a touch. Please tell me you have a decent price in this next race.
I do. My top choice here is the 7 Dee's Rocket Man, currently 18 to 1 on the board. Last week, got kind of shuffled back a little bit, turned for home. Only got beat 3.5 lengths, finished 8th, but was still close and behind basically a wall of horses. 2 starts back, got a nice trip left, sat the 2-hole and ended up winning that race. if he can work out a trip from this outside post, I think he definitely plays here. And price keeps going up 20-1 now. So definite player. The 6 options are a dream. Another one I like here, Ross Wolf, and then ships this one in from Harrington, and has been really sharp recently. The biggest thing is that first over mile last time at Harrington was a big, big trip. He's coming in as good as he can be, and I think he's a must-use. Currently sitting 2-1, and then the 3 I think is pretty obvious. Dreams Beach Boy with Yannick Gingras. He's been sharp, been right there the last 2 starts in the Open, so I see no reason not to have him on the ticket again.
You were mentioning with D's Rocket Man being behind the wall, as we saw earlier in the card. That might not necessarily be the best option. Of course, a call back to the 9-5 favorite that unfortunately, he should not have been 9-5, but at the same time also hit the wall, as I heard someone very cleverly say. As I mentioned, I have the 3, 4, and 6 all marked. They're the main contenders here, but if you know how to read a tote board, you don't really need me to mention them as factors. I was talking about the 7 D's Rocket Man on our live feed here as a potential upset, or maybe even just for under the ticket, just because he has that speed to be put into contention, and that's, of course, what you were talking about as well. That's all you necessarily need to be able to try and hit the ticket, but you also were surprised that the 5 Electric Western is not taking any money at all.
Yeah, that's my top pick in the race. If you look back, this was raced well last time. Drew the rail, but finished second in the Open here after racing onwards of 20,000 at Yonkers. Really no chance from an outside post. This horse has 2, very nice lines coming up the ladder at Pocono. Those are grind-out trips for wins. This horse has some back class, 4 wins this year, draws well in the gate, now moves inside 1 spot. And right now you're getting 23-1. That is huge price on this horse, especially a horse that raced very well at this level last week. I think a must-use. David Miller drives again. He knows him. Big price, must-use in all spots.
And last of all, the one horse we didn't touch on, the 8 Beach Memories. 2 starts back, was racing against $40,000 claimers up at Yonkers. And does that necessarily make him open material, you think?
Again, we were talking on the live feed. Those upper claimers at Yonkers are nice races. They go for big purses. This horse won a numbers at 10,000 last 4 back at Yonkers. Those are high-level horses. This horse has made $850,000. He can't be discounted in any race, I don't think. And right now he's 20-1.
And we also see the 7 D's Rocket Man taking play, now down to be 16-1. The favorite here currently at 3-2. The 3 Dreams Beach Boy, respectively, I might add, came from 14 lengths off the pace last out to finish 3rd by 2 lengths at odds of 5-1. Now gets an inside draw from post 3, and with that, we'll have more on this 4th race right after the post parade. I was waiting for my face to come off the live feed.
Remember, they're 5-6 seconds behind, too.
Oh, no, yeah, I know. And there's that. You see, this is starting to roll, and then we're going to get to the art escape pace, and we're going to go, okay, bye, guys.
Yeah.
We were doing real well, but if any of you hit the exacta, you can pay for another plane for Rod, then that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Let's see, 3-2 on the 3. That makes a lot of sense, especially with the driver. They're betting Gingras. Of
course they are.
They're betting a lot of Gingras today.
They always do.
Yeah. The Lions Johnny parading now is the 1, as he would in this race if he has the 1 saddle pad. There's no 2, so if you're thinking there's a 2, don't.
I think this is an excellent race to play at Dom Super.
Oh, Mike is breaking out the. Who's on the dime? Hamilton? No, he's on the. Well, 10 makes 20. That's what my father once told me. Every kid's first 20, he always remembers. You remember when you got your first $20 bill?
No, I don't.
I guess that adage doesn't hold up as well as I thought it did. So they're on the 4 horse now. We're going to the 5 horse after this.
Starting to even out a little here too.
Oh, you did a 5 horse box? 1, 3, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah.
Alright. That would pay more than $12, certainly. Unless
no 4.
No 4.
Why not?
don't like.
Why not?
Prefer others.
These are not valid reasons, but at the same time, I cannot argue them.
Sure they are. I mean, this horse was 16 to 1 at Pocono, 2 back.
Loves to win.
Yeah, but last time, was
And
2
loves
to
this
1.
track.
Was 2 to 1 in this spot, and dropped back. I feel like he's tailing off a little bit after those 3 straight wins. So, and I'm trying to get long shots in here.
Trying is correct. As we are getting
I'm
ready.
using your 7, Rod.
That's right.
Instead.
It's your 7. No one else's 7, but yours. So we're waiting for John to finish up to get ready to go again for another race. All right. 4th race incoming here on this Sunday afternoon stakes card at Tioga Downs, taking a break from the stakes. We had the Ms. Versatility in the last race. Here we have the open handicap for a purse of $12,000. A bit of changes here. A small bit of changes on the betting board currently, with the 3 Dreams Beach Boy currently the favorite at 9 to 5. Second choice then 5 to 2. The 6 Options Are a Dream, and then the 4 Rebellious, the third choice at 3 to 1. Now, Mike, we were talking, then we were surprised to hear that you did not have Rebellious at all on any of your tickets, and to me that sounds quite rebellious.
I just feel like he's tailing off. The last 2 races, the horse was going backwards, in the stretch. I just prefer others in here, especially, horses like the 5 and the 7, who I know are going to be finishing quickly. So I didn't use the 4 on my super.
And for those of you who are watching the horses score down, just know the tractor is not a part of the race. The horses are the main event here this afternoon. Rod, your horse, D's Rocket Man, currently on the board at 15 to 1. Now, sometimes when you have a long shot that you like, you might end up putting him underneath the favorite. Do you feel that this horse is actually a valid win contender here today?
Oh, absolutely. This horse has been racing well. And, like I said last time, just got into a little bit of trouble in the race. Has been in the open every single week. A lot of these horses have been kind of moving up and down in classes. So, this one is consistent. He's right there. Races well on and off the pace. So, I like his versatility. I like that maybe in this race he's going to fire. I'm hoping that he fires because this is the price play of the day, I think.
I at least have to think that Options Are a Dream is probably the horse to beat here. Of course, Dreams Beach Boy is the favorite. I still like Options Are a Dream for the fact that he's moving off the half mile, and he showed a ton of speed down there at Harrington against similar, if not better, competition, exiting a big pursed event last out to finish second, going first over from post 7. Now it's post 6 here today. I think 5 to 2 is an okay price. Mike, I know you were going for Superfectas. This is definitely a great race if you want to try and go for a Superfecta. So if I were to do so, I would be thinking probably 3, 6, 7, and 5 if you want 4 horses to box in a dime super. But the wings of the gate are getting ready to open as the starter moves into position. Back to John Horn. This is the 4th race from Tioga Downs. Take it away, John. Fantastic. Takes us through the 4th. To John Horn.
The horses are at the gate. The gate is rolling. Still time, but you'll have to hurry.
Set them all.
Oh, someone call?
Yeah.
Whoops. Yeah, I hear him.
You had no way of knowing that.
No.
The 4th race, open handicap pacers. Down to a field of 7 with a scratch of the 2. Betters Marquis Street Sick. Yannick Gendron driving the 3. Dreams Beach Boy. Field of 7, moving up and moving in.
The headset won't fall off Jason's head because he knew,
Into the back
it's going
stretch,
to fall off.
and there they go. This field is in motion, being sent on their way. They're all fan pacing and firing for the lead. There goes Electric Western getting the first call here.
Dave
Lions
Sandin.
Johnny from the inside is driving through, protecting the pole position there. Away in 3rd, that's Dreams Beach Boy. Followed in 4th by Options Are a Dream. 5th there to the inside, that's Rebellious, a gap of 2. Racing in 6th, that's D's Rocket Man. In 7th and trailing the field is Beach Memories.
as they wheel towards the opening quarter. The opening quarter came and went in a quick 26 3/5, and on by the stands and the fan for the first time and heading on over to the half and quickly darting to the front. That's Dreams, Beach Boy, and Gengraw. Going to dictate the fractions here. Rolling under the wire with less than 5/8 to go. Heading into the hotel turn. Dreams, Beach Boy, and Gengraw up top on the point, leading it here by a length and a half to the inside. Racing in second. That's Electric Western. Third, that's Lions Johnny. Move to the outside, racing in fourth. Options Are a Dream. Snagging that cover, second over the outside in fifth. That's Rebellious. Sixth is D's Rocket Man, and seventh and trailing Beach Memories. Down the back side of the go. Heads are pointed toward 3/4 off a half and 54 4/5 as they wheel down the backside. Dreams, Beach Boy leads it here by a half to the outside. Options Are a Dream is now on even terms with a leader here. Second over on the outside, racing in third. Rebellious was perfectly placed there by Martinez. Inside, racing in fourth. That's Electric Western. They went 3/4. Look at this. 1:21 1/5. And the drums are beating up top. Dreams, Beach Boy from the inside. To the outside, Options Are a Dream, and now swung 3 high as they come to the top of the stretch. That's Rebellious. Less than an 8 to go. Down the stretch they come. Dreams, Beach Boy is digging down deep. Middle of the track, Options Are a Dream. Way out wide. Rebellious at the wire. A gallant effort there by Dreams, Beach Boy to hang on to win it in 1:49 flat. Dreams, Beach Boy.
Jason Settlemore there with the call of the fourth race. Dreams, Beach Boy looked like holding on there from Rebellious to the outside. Options Are a Dream went the toughest trip of all of them. Still held on to be third. I guess I was kind of right then that he was the horse to beat. And the thing was, he did get beat.
They're showing the 4 on the camera. I'm not sure why.
3, 4, 6, 5. Whoops-a-daisy.
3, 4, 6, 5.
Those results are unofficial. At one point, they will become official. We're already on to the 5th. What?
We are.
What? Yeah, we're already on to the 5th. It's only 2 o'clock.
I'm laughing at myself.
And if anyone was paying real close attention, you might be laughing too for the reasons we are. 49 flat for that mile.
Big mile.
The front is holding.
That was a big mile.
I don't know. It's. I mean, the 6 was first up. The second.
And those were also the best horses.
I mean, 3, 4, 6. Those were they figured too.
Yeah.
You know. The 5 was fourth.
7 was nowhere.
Yeah.
2-1 winner there. Dreams, Beach Boy over the 5-2 second choice. With the 2-1 third choice. Over the 6-1 fourth choice. So maybe Superfecta wasn't the best bet there.
Well, we tried.
It was deceiving.
We tried.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Can't win them all.
It's all about just trying to get those
trying to get prices. You know, we're not going to sit here and give you 2-1 the top 4 horses in order. If you're looking for that, just go do something else.
Just look at the tote board.
You know, because we're not going to do that.
Well, that's a misnomer. He just acts old.
It's older than you.
He's a 25-year-old man with a farm. You don't see young guns with farms. You see them running banks, which are like farms but for money.
Okay.
You can put that on a poster. Anyone with poster making skills, we have prices. We have prices. Show me prices.
Show me the money.
No, we have buffering. I'll give you prices though. 610 to win on Dreams Beach Boy, $4 to place, $260 to show. 4 Rebellious, $360, $240. And the 6 Options Are a Dream, $260. $2 exact to 3, 4, $17. 50-cent trifecta, $11.30. 10-cent super, $7.20. And the 50-cent pick 3, $16. The 5th race coming up in 12 minutes.
Broadway down at 4 to 5. Likely to be 2 to 5 at post time.
Yeah, were we really expecting anything else?
No.
Although Celebrity Ruth is what, 8 to 1?
This would be a good time to go get pizza. Probably we just skipped this race.
And then we skipped the next one too.
Yeah, as we have an hour left.
Only an hour to go because Philadelphia is so far away from Nichols, New York.
Well, it is far.
It is far. Although it's strange to think that we aren't that far from my house.
Good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get rid of you.
I think my mother said that 19 years ago too.
Yeah.
Wow.
At some point.
Apparently that she missed the boat on that one.
She forgot.
Well, no, it's more so you don't understand the pain of a woman.
Definitely not.
That's the end of the sentence.
Let's not go there.
There's nothing else. All right, fine then.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to more ladies in the Ms. Versatility, the second division, the fifth race, third prelim. Is that enough numbers for you? If not, there's 6 horses here. And Broadway Donna's the favorite at even money now, going up.
Rose Run Sydney taking money.
Peel Jill taking money too at 9 to 2.
She always does. In these kind of races.
Which is strange because she never minds her manner. She's fast, but
just antics like galore.
She
got good earlier in the year
against Condition Company.
Well, but I mean, even look, she barely lost to Emoticon Hanover up at Woodbine. She put 3 races in a row together and then has been terrible since. So
she had that big mile too in the Armborough flight back on June 8th in the elimination, parking the entire way and just making the final.
Yeah.
Well, made the final because the one horse scratched out of it. Well, it wasn't the one horse. It was a horse that scratched out. I don't remember which one exactly. I don't think Rose Run Sydney at 7 to 2 is really that great a price.
Well, in this race, it's not bad. I mean,
when Celebrity Ruth is 9 to 1.
Okay.
Was caught behind horses in the Steel. Joie de Vie didn't really get the right trip.
I feel like she's a better big track horse. That is my problem with her.
That would be a problem if you would think about it.
I mean, she's won over this racetrack, though. I mean, there's no question.
I'm surprised you have no affinity towards Southwind Tesla.
Well, my problem with that one is got away with murder 2 back, 58 and 4 half to win, and then last time was in a spot she should have crushed and, couldn't hang on. I mean, just got dusted by horses that are way worse than these, so I don't know. I have no feel where she's even going to be in the race.
And we're getting ready to go here momentarily.
I definitely prefer the 3 to the 4.
And you were also looking at the win photo of the last race, too.
Mm-hmm.
Still more talking.
Loud noises.
They aren't really that loud. They're actually quite dim.
It's very dim. So, Ray, go put your head out the window so maybe we can throw you out.
That sounds like an insurance hazard. And our company doesn't have an insurance plan. Damn Obamacare.
Nobody wants to pay for you anyway.
You bought me breakfast yesterday.
That's true.
Alright, I guess we're ready to go.
You deserved it.
Come on. There we go. Second division of the Ms. Versatility coming up here in about 9 minutes. We saw the first division almost ended in an upset as Ice Attraction was trying to hold off Pink Pistol, ended up holding off Pink Pistol at odds of 50 to 1 there. Definitely a sign that Tripp can make the race. And now, Mike, here we have another definitive favorite in the 5, Broadway Donna, who got just a nightmare trip in the Joie de Vie last out, parking the entire way, never seemed to be able to get a hole, tried to get a hole, hence why she ended up parking that race. She's now on the board at 4 to 5, only likely to go down. How hard of a favorite do you think she'll be to beat?
I think extremely difficult to beat. She has a lot more class than these. Has made 1.3 million. Should control the race with her speed. I don't feel like Miller's going to take any chances here. I would imagine he will be up on it early and just drive her like she's the best. But you're going to get 3 to 5 likely again. There's some others in here. I don't mind Rose Run Sydney, the 1. Those 2 races at Yonkers, 2 and 3 back, are very solid. And then 7-hole in that Muscle Diamond race on Hambo Day. No shot in that race. This is a much better spot. Draw's perfect. I would think is going to get a trip in here. She fits. There's some, PL Jill. You never know what she's going to do. She typically runs most races. Southwind Tesla, has been getting away with soft halves at Woodbine. So those look like the 2 to me.
And Rod, with as heavy a favorite as Broadway Donna is here, sometimes you might end up thinking, well, if she's that much of a lock, 4 to 5 is actually a great price as opposed to trying to take horses with potentially a lesser chance of winning, like the 1 Rose Run Sydney at 4 to 1, only to just get $10.
Well, I mean, I don't mind the price on the 5 Broadway Donna just because of that trip last week. I mean, it was brutal. I knew right at the quarter pole when they straightened up she wasn't getting a hole, and she was going to be sitting out there the whole way. And she raced very, very well. Only got beat 2 1/4 lengths. So I think she's a pretty solid play here. The price may not be in your favor, but underneath,
I like Rose Run Sydney a little bit. Currently 9-2. I think she plays. Just needs to work out a trip. Has shown speed before over at Yonkers. She left from the 6-hole, got right in the 2-hole. That was a 27-4 quarter, so she can scat off the gate a little bit if she needs to. The other one I think that plays here that's kind of a quirky type is the 2 PL Jill. She's prone to make breaks, but if she stays flat, she can go right with these horses, and she's got an inside post, so I think she's just going to suck along and hope some things happen and pick up pieces late.
Yeah, quirky is definitely a polite term for never stays flat, but when she does stay flat, we've seen that she's put in some really strong miles. She actually holds the track record, if I'm not mistaken, at the Meadowlands, or at least she did at some point. It's also her lifetime mark there of 52 1/5. But again, gait is a concern. She stayed flat last out. She was taking some early money, but is gradually floating up on the board, now up to be 7-1. If you feel that is good enough to try and take against a horse like Broadway Donna to win, and so be it. But if you're looking for a horse with a lot of gate speed, you shouldn't discount the 6 NF Happenstance. This mare can leave like the best of them, especially considering she's been racing over at Yonkers in the last couple of starts and has still been gunning off the gate. 2 starts back, left from post 5. Of course, those are the longer races, the 1.25-mile events, but if anything, those are stronger races to look at because longer distances are harder for horses. You can get a horse that can go a longer distance. They're usually stronger, more durable, more versatile, and this is the Ms. Versatility. That's like the perfect adjective you'd want in a horse like the 6 NF Happenstance. Now down to 6-1 here on the board. This mare always, I feel, is great to use underneath on the ticket, especially in this series. And with that speed as well, with how the track's been playing, that seems incredibly appealing.
And if you look at her, she's made $185,000 this year. I mean, that's more than anyone else in the field. So, it's hard to argue. In the money, 15 out of 20. Tons of class in the Open every week. Just fits against these horses. Probably has just as much class as anything except maybe the 5. Definite shot to round out. Right now, the exactas are big everywhere. If you look at this exacta grid, I think there's a lot of value in the exacta pool right now.
And then you have potential value, too, in the 3 Celebrity Ruth, who also has a lot of class, as you were talking about class as well, though you have one concern, and that's the fact that maybe she's a bigger track horse.
I just feel like she does better on the bigger tracks. Those Meadowlands lines are nice. She does have a mark here at Tioga, 53-4 last year, so, has raced well here in the past, but I just, feel like her style suits the big track better. Short field, though, she's proven herself over this place.
And there's one other long shot to talk about, probably technically the only long shot when you're looking at the board, the 1 horse on double digits currently, the 4 Southwind Tesla. This is one that if you've been watching racing up in Canada over the last couple of seasons, she's been able to upset here and there and sometimes pick up a check against these bigger type of horses. Now up to be 12-1, adds Lasix this time. Does she really have gate speed? We'll talk about that more because it's post-parade time for the 5th race, the 2nd division of the Ms. Versatility. Even money on the 5, wow.
I mean, I think that's fair, actually.
Yeah.
She's supposed to win this race.
Yeah, supposed to is a nice term. Will is another term.
Nice attraction. She was supposed to win her division. She ended up winning. Was vulnerable late to a 50-1 shot.
Wait, the bugler wasn't even ready?
No. He's trying to put his microphone out there now. It's like too late.
You got one job.
Yeah. If I'm able to coordinate all this, you can play your trumpet.
Here it goes.
Double bugle.
John already started talking.
I was really tempted to turn this on and go ba 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 ba.
I dare you.
It's a little late now.
Walk 'em up throw sounds.
He'd be laughing, I think. I'd hope anyway.
Nice even board here.
1 is a pretty odd number if you ask me. It's a prime number. Is it? No, I thought... No, 0's not.
It's even money. Even.
Because you get $4.
That's why
4.
It's an even board.
It's an even number. And when you look at the grid, we don't have the grid available, unfortunately.
Look at these exactas.
What are the exactas currently with Broadway Donna on top?
With the 115, with the 233, with the 313.
Okay.
453.
What's the 6?
15.
15, not bad.
There's some value there. 5-1 at 15, I think is very good. Might have to try that one.
He's on F happenstance now. Is Settlemore still calling? I think so. Yeah. We're getting the bets. All right. That sounds like he's done. Come on. Mayor Trotter's on the track for the Ms. Versatility $30,000 purse coming up in a couple of minutes. We still see Broadway Donna is the favorite on the board. Now up to be 6-5, gradually floating up. Rod, I know you said that she was an okay price even when she was back at the favoritism she was earlier. As she's floating up, do you start to think maybe, well, she's the best horse in the race? I don't really want to get too creative. The rest of the odds aren't really appealing to me. Do I just double down?
I don't know if you double down, but I think she's solid, and even at even money, I think she's a solid play. It's a fair price. I don't think she's going to go off that high. I think she's probably going to get bet back down, and she looks great on the racetrack too. So I think she's probably going to be closer to like 3-5, maybe even 2-5 here. She just looks the best to me. It's going to be tough to beat her, and this is one of the softer groups that she's seen all season.
Well, if that's the case, I'm in agreement with you on that one as well. I'd be looking, as Mike is right at this moment, at the exactas, because Broadway Donna, being the horse that she is, seems like a real secure horse to put on top. But of course, security in betting, sometimes not necessarily the correct word to use, but nonetheless, Mike, these exactas are looking pretty good. What would you be looking to do?
Well, I punched for myself a 5-1, currently $12, so you're getting 5-1 on that, exacta price. If you consider the 5 as a solid favorite, you're basically getting 5-1 on the 1 to run second. The exacta with the 6 is 16. Again, that's 7-1 there. Not bad, not a bad return. They're all decent here. So if you're looking to leverage the 5 and try to make money in the race, or you could, try to play triples also. So that's how I'd be looking at the race.
I may even go one step further, a cold trifecta. You guys know I'm sometimes a fan of these. I'd be probably going Broadway Dawn on top of NF Happenstance and Celebrity Ruth. That's my bet. The wings are open. Let's send it to Jason Settlemore with the call of the 5th. Take it away, Jason. Hello. Boopity boop. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. We're already at the stakes after this.
Yeah. So pick 4 next. Are we gonna try? Are we gonna go over that?
I don't have a ticket.
Why?
Yeah, it's not gonna take you that long. Trust me.
I don't like the sequence. Worst comes to worst, I'll just give you 4 horses. I'll give you a cold pick 4.
Hey,
what are we?
Yeah, you want to put Settlemore on?
Yeah.
Escuchen a Spanish
I'll try not to curse during this race.
They're at the gate. Gate is rolling. Still time. But you guessed it. You'll have to hurry.
Slightly the actual feet.
Currently the 3-5 favorite, the 5 Broadway Donna. She's made over $1,362,000 in her career. A field of 6 for the 3rd leg of the Miss Versatility Open Mares, 2nd division here today. From the rail out, Rose Run Sydney, PL Jill, Celebrity Ruth, Southwind Tesla, Broadway Donna, and NF Happenstance. Gate swings into the back stretch, and this field is in motion. They're all fan-trotting and firing away from the outside. Broadway Donna is getting the first call here right alongside. That's NF Happenstance, who's angling to the pylons there in 2. Just ahead of in 3rd, Rose Run Sydney. Followed along in 4th by PL Jill. 5th, that is Celebrity Ruth. And 6th, and trailing the field, that is Southwind Tesla as they make their way around the paddock, turning over to the initial quarter. Up top of the lead tier, Broadway Donna's going to dictate the fractions here. Your 2-5 punter's choice has been placed up top through an opening quarter in 27 1/5.
on by the stands and the fans for the first time and heading on over to the half and up top, Broadway Donna. The 5-year-old bay mare by Donato Hanover's going to take him under the wire for the first time, leading it here by a tight length and a quarter. And of happenstances right there, nose to helmet in 2, Rose Run Sydney. Along the inside, continues to trot in 3rd, P.L. Jill. Move to the outside slightly there in 4th, looking to make a first over bid there possibly through a half in 56 and 4 5th. Inside in 5th, Celebrity Ruth, and 6th and trailing Southwind Tesla. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4 and Broadway Donna's up top here. And of happenstances there in 2, off stride, back of the pack, P.L. Jill went. And first double the rim, racing there in 3rd as they wheel towards the 3/4 mile mark of the race. Rose Run Sydney is right at the leaders. Wheel disc racing in 2 now as they race by 3/4 in 1:24 and 2 5ths. A 3rd panel in 27 and 3. Up top of the late tier, Broadway Donna's had it her way throughout. And to the outside, Rose Run Sydney, and Tetrick has popped out the earplugs on her. NF Happenstance is looking for racing room and now swung out 3 high. Here comes Celebrity Ruth, less than a 16th to go. And down the stretch she comes, and Broadway Donna's gone here with these big, bold, powerful strides. Broadway Donna in front. NF Happenstance was 2nd. Celebrity Ruth was 3rd. 4th, that Southwind Tesla. 5th is Rose Run Sydney. And 6th and last after the miscue is P.O. Jill. Time of the mile 1:52 and 1/5. Broadway Donna. Very, very impressive here today, dictating the fractions gate to wire.
All right, I'm back on the live feed now. Did I not call that? I called that. I called that cold.
I heard you.
Yeah. 2 to 5, 13 to 1, 9 to 2. That for $2 has to pay at least 50.
I don't think you're good.
For $2?
I don't think.
I think for $2 it's possible.
Short field.
The 50 cents could pay 10.
Like it's 40.
3, 4, 1, 2.
Well, you know what I say. 40 is almost 50. I know we're back. I just have a disc that hurts in my neck because I slept awkwardly. Is this what you feel every day?
Yeah.
It's a miracle you're still with us then. I can't bear the pain now. 5, 6, 3, 4.
If you only knew.
In that 6th race.
Well, the one really.
Don't get Sylvia Plath on me right now. Wait for tote dividends. I anxiously
We'll
await.
go to commercial real quick.
Yeah, just go to commercial. Break time.
We'll be back.
Danny Farms is proud to announce the arrival of Sire World of Rock and Roll to Illinois. Regally bred World of Rock and Roll is by Rock and Roll Hanover out of Worldly Beauty, an earner of $1.9 million, and from the family that sired $3 million champion pacer Captain Treacherous. World of Rock and Roll, a winner on the Grand Circuit, has sired foals with a total of over $3.3 million in earnings, including 2-year-old filly pacer of the year in Ohio, Bad Girls Rule. Standing at Walker Standardbreds for $1,500, call Danny Farms at 312-446-8310 or go to dannyfarms.com and book your mare today.
Join us September 3rd, 2018 at the annual Illini Classic Yearling Sale. Over 100 yearlings from top Illinois sires such as Doonside Perch, Sagebrush, Sportsmaster, Cassis, Pizzazzed, and many others will be sold. Recent sales graduates include 2018 Cardinal winner Holden Steady and 2017 Illinois 3-year-old Colt Pacer of the Year Captain Red. Visit IlliniClassic.com for details. The Illini Classic Yearling Sale, where champions are found.
LeBlanc Designs has been in the harness racing business for over 20 years. Based in Truro, Nova Scotia, and beginning with clients from Truro Raceway, LeBlanc Designs now offers handcrafted and personalized helmet designs to some of harness racing's top drivers, including Tim Tetrick, Hall of Famer David Miller, Corey Callahan, and many more. LeBlanc Designs also offers airbrushing and vinyl designs for hockey masks, motorcycle helmets, and guitars. For more information, go to LeBlancDesigns.com or call it 902-899-7922.
Back.
Yeah.
Brett Reese's currently interviewing Scott DiDomenico. Or not Jim Campbell. Pardon me. I should have known from the shorts and the fedora.
I can't pull that look off.
Shorts and the fedora.
Jim Campbell has the best fashion sense, I think, of any trainer in harness racing. He looks good. For being 74, he's not 74. Although, would that still be a compliment if you said, "Oh man, you look good for 80"? And you're like actually 50, and you said that to someone, they feel offended?
They might.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that would imply that they look that. That's not a good idea when you think about it. Well, you don't even use Dr. J. You suck.
Why would I?
No, I'm talking about Rod. Dr. J's your horse. He's from your track.
Alright, because I know he's good up there, but
He's great down here.
he's good when left alone. I probably should use him off the way this racetrack is playing.
Yeah. What are the prices?
We should have some prices coming up right now.
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at that. All right, so Broadway Donna 290, 272, 10, NF Happenstance 672, 80, Celebrity Ruth 250, $2 exacta 5, 6, 13, 20, the 50-cent trifecta 5, 6, 3, $6.50. The $2 double 3, 5, 11, 80, and the 10-cent super 5, 6, 3, 4, 4, 90. I think it's only that low because I gave it out beforehand and everyone ran to the windows.
Yes, everybody was running and punching tickets just
Yeah.
as it came out of your mouth.
So the $5 trifecta returned 65. That means the $2 returned like 15. Wait, 13, 27. About 20.
Take it times 4, right? Okay.
650 times 4?
It's 26.
It's not that difficult.
No, it is that difficult when you don't know the number to take it up by.
Okay, I got you. Let's move on.
You know, how does the sound get carried through these things? I'm not the first person to ask this question.
Radio waves.
Radio waves.
We got a replay, don't we have to deal with first?
Yeah, there's a replay. There's a replay
Why
coming
are you
up.
holding that mic?
Because I want people to think that this is the mic I'm talking out of when it's this one.
Let's talk about the Big Four.
Let's talk about the Big Four. I'm going to give you just 4 straight winners. 2 with 6 with 1 with 4.
Okay.
Just play that for $1. That's all I got. That's my opinion.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Well, here's the thing. The way you guys are playing it, I'm telling you it's going to pay nothing.
It might.
I'm trying to get a price in there.
And then I am too.
Only one.
And if I lose $1, I don't care.
All you need is one of the big favorites to get beat.
That's why you're singling You Are My Candy Girl.
Yeah, I don't think she gets beat.
That doesn't really help you that much. It turns into a pick 3 then.
Yeah?
That's true.
But it doesn't matter.
It does matter. It makes it pay
No.
less. And I'm not talking about shoes.
You can't get them all beat.
You can.
You can, but it's going to be unlikely.
Remember the daily double pool last year, this day?
Yes, we have to remember Ray
Yeah.
won $1,000 double last year.
E.
Problem is those were 10-horse races and these are 5.
Actually, no, they were 8. 9. I think they were 9.
And I'm taking the horse that made that pay that much
Okay.
at 40 to 1.
Yeah, and you're going to get 3 to 1 on him. What value?
2 to 1.
What is value?
He's 2 to 1 right now?
All bets off is a good chance in the race.
What's
5 to
Dr.
1.
J?
8 to 5.
Okay, he should be the favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rock and Ron's being played too now.
I wish Western... Does Western Fame bounce here? Because, I mean, he's had abysmal posts. Does that really... That can explain why he hasn't raced too well.
He's a half-mile track horse. I don't know.
I mean, 5/8 is almost a half. When you think
Almost.
about it.
His best races are on a half, though. I don't know. I think it'd be hard-pressed to envision him winning this race. I don't see anything to recommend.
Pace 47-4, people like that.
He did.
Was that you going, oh, jeez, he did? Or was it like, why is he talking? He doesn't even like that stuff.
This has had bad posts. I mean, I
Yeah.
won't say that.
Alright. The rundown should be coming up next.
Look at something here.
Yep. But we're finally into the stakes races, the big stakes races, the finals. We got 4 left to go here.
By the way, if you couldn't tell, we're at Tioga Downs. If you did notice. It's right there.
We're gonna take that sign with us.
You wanted to take the trophies, you wanted to take the ladder, you wanted to take the sign. The sign is... Oh, that's good material. You could make a ramp out of that.
Like a Napoleon Dynamite ramp.
Are you ready to do TV now?
Are they done? Is he done talking? Okay. On to the featured events here this afternoon, starting with the 6th race, the Roll with Joe Open Pace, a purse of $143,000 here, and we have a competitive field of 5 going postward with Dr. J. Hanover, the current favorite, at 8-5. Now, Mike, what's kind of tough with a race like this, you have a short field, and it looks like there's 2 definitive pace setters here in Dr. J. Hanover and Rockin' Ron, and the track has been seeming to be somewhat front heavy. Does the race go through them?
Well, I don't like either of them, so I sort of hope not. I feel like Delta Winter's going to lead today. That's his best chance. He likes this racetrack. He draws the rail. I would expect him to be aggressive. Miller's been sending everything today, so I feel like that horse could, kind of mess with your early pace scenario here. Dr. J is usually obviously on the lead, but I feel like he's vulnerable at this level. And I like all bets off. Just his races, these last few races, that was a terrible trip in the McKee. No chance there. Dan Patch got too far back. Short field. He likes the smaller tracks. I like those two.
Here in 6-1 on all bets off there. 5-2 on Delta Winner. Rod, to me, that seems kind of low considering he paid over $70 to win this race last year with the perfect trip.
Yeah, he was a better price last year, but the short field, I don't mind him getting bet. He's coming into this race in pretty good form. Just had a lot of bad luck the last couple of weeks. So I think if he gets away up close, he's got a big shot here. You're not going to see him go off the favorite, I don't think. The 4 Rockin' Ron, he loves the small tracks. He kind of tailed off a touch after he won the Campbell Classic over at Western Fair, but he's still good enough. He likes the small tracks, and I think he's a must-use just because of his early speed threat. And then I'm going to throw a little bit of a price in there, the 3 Western Fame. I think he's got a little bit of a shot. Another one is he's been off form just a little bit, but Jimmy Takter gets his horses ready for these races, and this is a short field. I think you're going to see a different race out of him this week compared to what he's been doing recently.
And not necessarily to toot my own horn. I leave that job to the bugler downstairs. I was all on top of Broadway Donna winning that race, all on top of enough happenstance getting second in that race, and on top of Celebrity Ruth getting third in that race. Cold triple given out here, so I got high expectations going into this race. I feel Dr. J. Hanover still is the horse to beat. He seems to have a lot more speed than Rockin' Ron. Rockin' Ron can definitely get out of the gate, though, and could end up setting the pace, which maybe that works for the favorite then, but still, I'm not a big fan of Dr. J. Hanover taking this much play. I'd probably be looking more towards exotics like I did in that last race, but I will get more into that because it's time for the post-parade, for the Roll of Joe. So on with that. Yeah.
Pick 4 plays. Right. Yeah.
Oh, it's not post-parade time. It's time for $50 free play. Hold on.
That helps us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
1 and 5 here for me in the first leg. Second leg.
Hold up.
I'm going to try 1, 5, 6. Alexis Faith. I like the upset. You are my candy girls, obvious. But I'm trigger happy. Finished second with the favorite last time. I feel like Withercliff may have a chance.
Hello.
Third leg. I'm 5, 6. Hitman, Hale, and Courtly Choice. I think those are the 2 obvious horses. And then the last, I'll try to get a price. I'll use the inside 3. Winsong Glory. No chance of Meadowlands last time. Luminous Stride. 11-hole race. Extremely well to be third. Sharton, who will likely be the favorite. And then my top pick, Pure Country, who was fantastic in the Lady Liberty, has won $2.3 million and is always dangerous. Ginger, I would expect, will be aggressive early.
So how much does that cost?
So this ticket's 24. It's 1-5 with 1-5-6 with 5-6 with 1-2-3-8. It's 24 for 50 cents.
Now, would you like my opinion?
Sure.
I think that your best shot is to take at least some of the favorites out, because with the likelihood they have to win, you're risking losing money on this ticket if it even pays back.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm starting with the third and fourth choices in the first race.
It's a 5-horse field.
I don't care. But I'm starting with the 2 non-favorites.
Okay.
Okay, then I have 2 horses that I think can upset the favorite in the next race.
Okay.
Okay, and then I have 2 horses, which one I think has a chance to upset the favorite in the next race. And then I'm deep in the last. So I don't mind this ticket whatsoever.
I feel if there are any races you'd want to try an upset for in this pick 4, you'd want to try it in the Colt pace and in the Mare's pace.
Well,
Not the filly, because that race just seems too much in You Are My Candy Girl's hand. I'm even hesitant to support the Krogan horses, but I recognize they have a chance to win if it gets crazy, but I don't know if it will get crazy. Rod's here, by the way.
I'm playing a small ticket.
He was popping his discs back into voice.
$24, and especially if I can start with one of these first 2 horses with all bets off, I guarantee it's going to pay a lot more than that.
Oh, we're getting Tchaikovsky here from the Bugler. The Nutcracker Suite.
You bugling again?
Oh. It's a hard instrument to play, I'll give him that much.
Maybe you should be bugling also.
I'm not James Witherite.
The crowd's clapping for him and not us.
Well, they just took the money I gave them for the Broadway Donna and NF Happenstance Celebrity Ruth Triple. That $27 pays for the buffet downstairs.
It's a good buffet.
It's a great buffet.
I have to say.
Yeah. Delta Winner's on track. He's the first horse because he starts in post 1.
What do you think, Rod?
Looks lame, right?
No, it looks fine.
Took you that long to say looks fine?
Busy.
Dr. J. Hanover is the 2. He's 8-5 right now. You're telling, I understand that he's just been racing up against those preferred horses at Mohawk, and maybe they aren't of this caliber, but you have to at least like the fact that each of his miles have been stronger than the last.
He's good. I mean, but he loves it up there. That is his favorite place.
Mm-hmm.
This is not.
He's won here before.
It doesn't matter.
Well, but I feel like if you won here before, that's a sign that you at least enjoy the place.
I just prefer others, right? I mean, can he win? Absolutely.
I definitely like Western Fame underneath, though.
I don't.
It's only because he's a bit of a price. He has a good post finally.
You want anything in double digits? Like, you'll find a reason to use.
Well, you're not understanding. There was an 80-1 shot at Woodbine like this yesterday.
I agree that he's had bad posts. I agree with you there, but that's all I can say for him currently.
Well, yeah, but still, it's not. Would you want to take a chance of him potentially bouncing back because he finally has a chance to race and hitting the ticket at that price?
Okay, I mean, that's fair. But I think the 5 is much better value. Right now, 6-1 is probably going to drift up to closer to 10-1 by post time. Who would you rather have, the 3 or the 5?
The 3, because the 3's not going to take any more money. The 5's going to take more money.
Maybe, maybe not.
Because it's a Burke horse.
Maybe, maybe not.
How are we doing, Eric? Getting a thumbs up from the producer. Who's switching the battery at the moment. We are waiting for John. Four minutes ago. Less than 4 minutes to post here for the roll with Joe. $143,000 purse again. The favorite here at 2-1. Now the 2. Dr. J. Hanover, Delta Winner, then also dropping down to be 2-1. He's the second choice. The third choice at 5-2. The 4, Rock and Ron. We were talking a bit off stage here about the board, betting in general, life stuff, really anything you could possibly think of in conversation we were talking about here. And Mike, you feel that All Bets Off is probably much better value than Western Fame.
Yeah, I do, because if you look too back, I mean, was first up in that McKee and basically was gutted the whole way around the racetrack. I thought raced very well there, held on to be 5th. No chance in the Dan patch whatsoever. Still kicked home 26-2. Likes these smaller tracks. Can leave away from there. I could see him, in any place in this race and could still win. He's won $3 million. This horse is legit and is 6-1 currently on the board, and I think provides a lot of value as opposed to the 2 and the 4.
Well, you see here, I see 5-1, and I see 12-1 on the 3 Western Fame, and from my elementary understanding, 12 is a bigger number than 5, so I tend to think that maybe that's the better value. And I understand why this horse isn't taking any play. He hasn't been finishing too well at this level. He's been kind of in and out of the open stakes ranks through the season, but the other thing is that he's never really had a real chance to race. He's had outside posts or second-tier posts, has been locked in, never given the right trip to actually end up getting into contention, and it's not like he's not a bad horse either. It's just you're getting 13-1 now with a chance for him to actually prove himself. And Rod, I think you agree with me that at the very least he's great to use underneath.
Yeah, I think he's a definite player in exotics, really any exotic you want to play him in, and you're getting great value now, 15-1. He's creeping up even farther each time the odds change. So I would throw him on underneath. I don't think he can necessarily win unless some things happen and they go really fast up front, which is possible here with the types of horses in this race, especially Delta Winner from the rail, Dr. J, Hanover from the 2-hole, and Rock and Ron from the 4-hole. They all show early speed. So I would go ahead and use a few horses if you can in this pick 4, 50-cent minimum. You're just trying to pick the winner of the next 4 races.
But I mean, how likely is it for a 5-horse field like this to actually set up to be a real speedball fest?
You never know. It's all good horses here, and looks like the wings of the gate are opening, so we're going to send it back over for the call of race 6, the Roll with Joe.
All right. There we go. First of 4.
Get John up.
Is called ready for the Roll with Joe here at Tioga Downs. We're getting set for a show here this afternoon. The Roll with Joe, short field of 5. A talented field of 5. Moving up and moving in from the rail out. Delta Winner, Dr. J. Hanover, Western Fame, Rock and Ron, and all bets off. Short field of 5, but talented field of 5. Moving up and moving in. The Williams Toyota starting gate swings into the back stretch, and they're getting set for a start. This field is in motion. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the outside. Rocket Ron is getting the first call. Dr. J. Hanover is driving through from the inside. All bets off as angled to the pylons. They're racing in 3rd, just ahead of in 4th, Western Fame. And 5th and trailing, Delta Winner's going to have to do it from the back of the pack as they wheel around the paddock, turning on over to the opening quarter. Rocket Ron and Gendra on the point here, trying to slow them down as they move on the opening quarter in 26 2/5. Rocket Ron on the point, leading it here by length in 3 parts. To the inside, Dr. J. Hanover is there, racing in 200 high lines from Brett Miller. Out pops all bets off, being flushed first over on the outside, racing in 3rd. Flushing that cover, 2nd on the outside in 4th. That's Delta Winner, and Western Fame has been shoveled last. Around the hotel turn, they going on over to the half. Up top, Rockin' Ron's going to take him to the half in 54 4/5. Into the payoff half, they're rolling off the turn and driving down the backside. The scene is set, and up top, Rockin' Ron from the inside. All bets on the outside. These two on even terms as they spar down the backside. 2nd over the outside, racing in 3rd. That's Delta Winner. Inside, racing 4th. Dr. J. Hanover. Western Fame is moved to the outside. 3rd over and 5th as they race by 3/4. 3/4 in 1:21 and 1/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. Rockin' Ron from the inside. They're the outside, racing in 2. All bets off and now swung up 3 high. Here comes Delta Winner, and out 4 wide, Western Fame. Less than an 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come in the Roll with Joe. From the inside, Rockin' Ron, way out wide, Delta Winner and Western Fame. Delta Winner, Western Fame gets up to Winner on the outside. Western Fame and Andy McCarthy gonna pull the upset here at 15-1 to win the Roll with Joe. Photo for win.
I should really stick to my guns when it comes to upsets in the Roll with Joe.
Well,
then again, it's really hard to tell when
my pick 4 would be live if I played.
It'd be hard to tell if the Burke horses would battle with each other like they did there.
I don't understand the drive necessarily in the 5. He did what he had to do, but what are you going to do? I mean, the 1 had perfect and just got picked off.
Western Fame is that kind of horse.
You know?
When he gets the trip, and he has the opportunity, he takes it. See, 15 to 1.
Very good.
15 to 1 over 6 to 5. No, over 5 to 2. Over 6 to 5. 5 of those. 3, 1, 4, 5, right?
I believe so.
Something like that.
Yes, 3, 1, 4, 5.
Dr. J last, unfortunately.
He didn't look good the whole way.
Well, he didn't get his usual spot. And he wasn't at home either, which is, what I'm trying to tell you. But,
Home used to be Yonkers for him.
he's always been good at Mohawk. I mean, he's a whole different horse up there.
15 to 1 winner here.
Huge.
In Western Fame. At the very least, he was the horse we were always talking about.
3, 1, 4, 5, 2.
And there's the rundown. 3, 1, 4, 5, 2.
It's off, so nobody can hear me anyway.
Well, even when it's on, they have a hard enough time hearing you. Like there.
Well.
Home, Ray. I tell you this all the time.
Actor and McCarthy.
That
And
was true. Short field setup.
yeah. Didn't have too much ground to make up as a result, too.
That's the first time something's come down the middle tonight, too.
Tonight. Why would you keep saying tonight? Tonight is in for another like 5 hours.
That's me.
That's at least just my opinion. It's just my opinion. It's mine, and not yours.
Yeah, that's a huge price on that horse.
Longest shot on the board. Not like he was not without a chance. So there's an interview going on here now.
Yep.
We don't know what they're saying. We can only assume what they're saying. So Andy, you got away last in the race. Did you think it was over from there? Well, being last isn't necessarily the place you want to be in. That's my remember.
Yeah, don't do that.
Being last is not necessarily the place you want to be, but when you want to be first, you don't want to be last.
Andrew's a cool guy.
But we're moving on now.
Yeah, to one of the bigger fields.
My pick 4's moving on.
Sort of.
This is the Empire Breeders' Classic 3-year-old filly pace. There we go. Coming up after this. After we
Mike, how do you keep getting farther off the camera?
I don't know. Ray keeps pushing me over.
I'm not doing
Well,
anything.
my chair's in the same damn spot.
Is it a spot or a damn spot?
Oh, it's because you're sitting forward.
In Macbeth, Lady Macbeth says, "Out with thee, Spot, out with thee."
That's
And,
what we need Shakespeare now.
well, no, a lot of people don't know that Macbeth had a dog. A Spot.
I highly doubt
The
that.
jokes have been absolutely brutal today.
It's not a joke, it's a fact.
It's not a fact.
I mean, it's not a fact. I just gave you the line. The line was that. When you interpret it,
Yeah, did you make that play up?
no, Shakespeare did. You clearly have never been to a proper presentation of Macbeth.
Obviously.
3-1 exact, 100-250.
Wow.
32-20 to win on Western Fame, 870 to place, 390 to show. Delta winner, 450, 250, then Rock and Ron, 240. 3-1, 4-5-2 in the roll with Joe.
That's 1, 3, and 4.
Very good pick.
This is a great race for upsets, it seems, every year.
Very, very good.
Delta winner has not seemed like himself. He can fly home still, but
No, that horse raced very well. He got beat
Yeah.
an inch.
yeah.
You can't fault that race.
He could have possibly won the McKee too, but he was also going outside, inside. He was flying everywhere. I remember I was watching that race next to Jay Bergman and my father, who is not Jay Bergman.
I mean, you should have been on the set doing real work.
Dude, you call this work?
Kind of. Feels like it currently.
Had you bet Western Fame, I think you'd be saying otherwise.
No, I don't. That wasn't. And I get it, but I like the 5 better.
You always like the 5, though.
I do.
Which is strange because I used to be on that horse and you go, he's a half-mile horse.
He is. He raced good.
Yeah, he raced well. It's just he was kind of a pick. So we move on then to the Empire Breeders' Classic 3-year-old filly pace. I guess Jason's just calling the stakes. Because he called the roll with Joe. He might just be calling the Empire Breeders' Classic next week. We don't know, yeah.
Maybe you can call him.
He's the boss. Yeah.
He can do what he wants.
I don't think I push my boundaries that much.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Everyone turns on 3 Wide, particularly for the South Park references.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the $32 winners or the $27 cold triples.
You have been hot today. We'll give you that.
And we have the AC on just
You're
for that
making me
reason.
look bad here.
I think you can do just a fine enough job. You set me up for that one, kind of like, does your face hurt? Well, it's killing me!
Like I said, brutal.
Well, no, you gotta appreciate the classics, that way you can extrapolate upon them. You can't do anything without knowing the classics. You gotta know the classics. There's a replay going right now, and 1-9 now.
McDonald's Classic, the Big Mac.
I'm not a big Mac guy.
Ronnie.
Now, how come when Rod makes jokes, you lose your mind?
Well, no, it's not losing my mind. It's just cerebrally. I have no idea how you got to that at all. Usually, sometimes there's like a roadmap where it's
classic things,
where this word leads to that word, and this idea leads to that idea.
Yeah, classics.
And now you're here talking about the great value of the McDonald's smorgasbord. Like, jeez, it's not that great a value. I always.
As much McDonald's as we're talking, maybe they should be sponsoring us.
No, why would we want that? That would.
I wasn't talking about them. I was talking about.
That would anger our vegan fans, which of course.
I was talking about another really good place that actually is good. Unless McDonald's sponsors us, then they're good.
Which of course, clearly there would be vegans watching this show about horse racing. I feel like horse racing would be something that they're really into.
We're trying to get them into it.
I mean,
I don't think like what you eat really, restricts your hobbies necessarily.
Well, you know what they say, you are what you eat.
No. Let's move on, for God's sake.
Sorry, I've just been around that entirely white bread mindset too much. Now I'm just making fun of them by making myself that person. The 7th race is the Philly Pace Empire Breeders' Classic for $270,000. There's only 8 horses going post right now, in case you couldn't hear me until this point. You Are My Candy Girl is the favorite at 1-2? I thought she was 1-9.
1-4 currently.
Oh, 1-4. That's right. We're in New York, where those odds exist. And then second choice at 7-2. Alexis Faith. Painted Lady's the third choice. Oh no, I'm sure you're happy. It's the third choice. Now the second choice, 3-1. Painted Lady also taking some money. It's really tough to see any of these other horses getting into contention. Truth be told.
Yeah, look at the last race though.
The difference is Western Fame was showing signs of life. There's only like 2 horses in here that can come home in sub 28. 3. I thought about Believe in Me, but I don't like that outside post and the fact she broke into Shady Daisy.
I like the 3. I mean, the 3 has a chance to get a piece. Zurich.
Park to the quarter. Didn't really show much in the stretch, though.
Yeah,
Lots of seconds and thirds.
I mean, this horse has kicked 27-2 before.
I've never been a fan of a horse who can kick home but loses ground in the process. That never looks good to me.
Okay. I mean, you're right. There's something to that, but draws well. It's going to suck along, and there's a lot of speed in the race.
Potentially.
30-1.
There's potentially
I'll
a
take
lot of
92
speed.
on the 1.
Do you think Miss Cheeseman doesn't blast? She's just left because of her inside post.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Western Fame upsetting in the roll with Joe at odds of 15-1. We were talking about him on set, though. We probably didn't give him as much credit as he ended up deserving. Rod, I know you were probably a bit more high on him than I was, but definitely not without his chance. 15-1 in hindsight. Too high a price on a horse that just now finally got a chance to show himself, and definitely got the right setup too with the pace going as fast as it was. the two Burke horses battling on the lead. We turn the page there, one upset, maybe another, who knows? We have a big favorite going postward in the Empire Breeders' Classic Final for the 3-year-old Philly Pacers. Purse of $270,000 plus on the line. You Are My Candy Girl currently on the board now at 4-5, drifting up from her much heavier odds of 1-4 as she was a couple minutes ago. She is the fastest in this race by the looks of it, but Mike, does speed mean that much here, you think?
Well, she controls things because she's able to go fast and keep going. She can go 48-2 and keep on going on the lead. So the speed means a lot more to her. I'm curious who's going to be challenging her at all early. I feel like the one could get a perfect trip in the race. Whoever ends up in that pocket behind her, really stands to have a chance to win late. So that's what I would be looking for. Right now you're getting 9-2 on the one. I think that's quite fair. The 5's getting action. This horse finished second to her in the elimination, and she's got a little bit of class to her. Has been racing well lately. I prefer the one right now. We'll see how it works.
And again, you're getting a bit of a short price here on the 5. I'm sure you're happy. Who's currently the second choice at odds of 3-1. Mike was mentioning she was second in the elimination to You Are My Candy Girl. Rod, to me, $8 seems a little low to try and beat a horse who really should be 1-9.
Yeah, I agree. You Are My Candy Girl is a standout, I think. Like I said earlier on the pregame, the key is going to be what the one does early on in the race. If she fires hard, I think You Are My Candy Girl is going to have to settle early on and then try to make a move past the quarter. But she's used to doing that. She's done it quite a few times this year already. So, it's obvious she's the one to beat. She's the fastest horse in the race, and I don't think the trip is going to matter too much. But if you're looking for a price player underneath, the 3 Solitary, I think, fits well here. Should sit right along the rail, and has been racing pretty well. Just likes to be up close. Nick Sturck, Brett Miller. She's a nice little filly there, and with the inside draw, I think her biggest key is going to be just to sit there and not make a move and maybe hit for underneath in exotics.
I feel like that's a lot of people's goals in this race just because of the speed, as well as the straight-up class advantage some of these horses have here. It's almost like we have some Grand Circuit types invading just the general Sire Stakes program here in this event, with You Are My Candy Girl having a resume including the Shady Daisy, the Audio Volo, many other races, a second place in the Lynch, a champion 2-year-old. I'm sure you're happy who's been getting cash checks as opposed to other kind of checks, I guess, in those big races as well. There's another Krogan entry here in Painted Lady who I felt maybe would have a slight chance if they go a little too fast on the lead. But again, as I keep looking at this race, it doesn't really seem like there are a lot of horses that could potentially test that pace, which would be necessary for there to really be any kind of upset. We were also talking about underneath Solitary for 1 as a horse that could possibly complete the ticket. I'm not that big a fan of how she chased horses last time out. She did come home fairly well, but at the same time she was losing ground. She looked like she was just trying to struggle to keep up. That doesn't necessarily paint a positive picture in my book, but again, I can't really have much more of an opinion here on this race. We're going to continue to read the board. They're stepping out on the track. Maybe that will jog my interest a bit. This is the Empire Breeders' Classic, stepping out for parade. Ooh. At least he went for it. At least he went for it. You can't get it if you don't go for it. That's from Rudy.
That was the longest, saddest song ever right there for a bugler. Everybody jump.
5-1 Alexis Faye.
Well, I think that's fair. I don't think you're going to end up getting that, though. You're going to end up getting 3-1, and that's not fair.
Yeah. Yep, Sunmore's just doing the 6.
Must be nice to just roll in.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like when Dave Chappelle goes to any comedy club nowadays.
Yeah.
all the headlining acts are canceled.
As they should be.
Yeah. And then Dave just goes up there. Y'all have a look at Trick Cereal?
No. I've never heard him say that.
Well, no, but like
or talk like that.
He's so stream of conscious nowadays. I don't think he doesn't prepare a lot except for like his big tour shows. When he goes to a club, he just
ripped.
I don't think he quit smoking though. But now he has muscles.
It's easy for like rich guy to get ripped, because you can hire the chef, the trainer, everybody, and just get to work.
I feel like there's some personal experience behind that opinion.
I don't hire anybody. I'm not ripped.
Really?
Really? I don't think that's too hard to figure out.
I really wish there was a lot more to this race than there is currently.
I can't believe that the 6 is this high.
Yeah, that's the part that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't really understand it. How can they bet the 5 into this horse?
She was racing really well at the end of the mile in the Shady Daisy.
Yeah, but the horse was shut down in front.
In the Shady Daisy? She barely held on.
Oh, okay, I'm looking at the other race.
Yeah. She was shut down last week. Which even then, it's like...
She's just so good, that's the problem.
Yeah. Because like the only way she loses this race, she's now down to 2-5, I think, I just heard Jason say, is someone has to pull. And I don't know if anyone will. But someone has to. The one thing I do like about Alexis Faith is her mile in the Fan Hanover. She went to the front. She's not that great on the lead. She comes home way better chasing, and she held on to finish 4th there behind. When Shower Play came down the center of the track.
Shower Play was really good at that point.
Yeah. Her mile at Vernon isn't really much to be talked about. It was an okay race, but she looked locked in the entire way as the odds on favorite.
That debut race is big from the 7 hole. And then no chance of Monticello.
I mean, at 6-1, I'd be starting to reconsider. Because she keeps going up.
You're interested all of a sudden?
Well, I thought she was going to be a much lower price than that. I thought she was going to take her on the play. I'm sure you're happy with it. I'm sure you're happy now 6-1 as well.
As the price goes down to 6, you're going to get...
Mm-hmm.
But I think eventually people say, oh, the one's 6-1, we're going to get a little of this, and it's going to end up being 1.5.
Yeah.
But it's all speculation. We need to get these horses for our normal set. I really feel like they should go home with us. They should be donated to us.
What's with you and stealing things?
I've never stolen anything.
You've thought about it a lot.
Just because I think about it doesn't mean it happens.
That's true. You do think about a lot of things that end up not perspiring.
I think about eating cake all the time, but I never get to.
What?
Well, we can tell.
Someone bake me cake.
What?
Rod angling for cake.
If you happen to be at the Philadelphia International Airport between the hours of 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. and happen to have a cake on you.
If Rod makes it there by then.
Yeah, I think we're good to go. Done talking? Yep. Empire Breeder Classic Philly field on the track and a scoring down now 1-2 favorite the 6. You Are My Candy Girl. She was drifting up in price a touch, but now she's starting to go back down, getting the money she seems to respect just off of those lines in her last couple of starts, off of her championship freshman campaign and her improving sophomore campaign. Not only that, Mike, it's hard to really find much else competition to her, but I saw Alexis Faith was starting to go up in price with 6-1, but now down to 5-1. I'm starting to get a bit more interested in this one.
Well, I've been interested. She's my top pick, and I just feel like it ends up, she has to get a perfect trip to win. But she can get it from the rail if, she leaves early, ends up in the pocket. Top connections here. This horse is raced at the top level, and is capable, I think, of upsetting the favorite, giving the right circumstance. So, that's what you're looking for. Anything less than 5-1, I don't know that I want. Right now, the exacta 6-1 is only $4. So, that's, an even money exacta. It's hard to get clever in a race like this, so we'll see what happens.
Well, what's interesting is that the 6-5 exacta, as it was going by, was $10, which seemed a little bit high considering that I'm Trigger Happy was second to You Are My Candy Girl in the elimination last out. Not only that, but finished well in the Shady Daisy, but it all comes down to how the pace sets up. You Are My Candy Girl, the favorite. The gate is in position. It's time for the Empire Breeders' Classic. To Jason Settlemore with the call.
Less than a minute till post time. There's still time. Still time. Starter Dale Milby has called him to the gate. Sophomore pacing fillies have been summoned to the gate for the Empire Breeders' Classic. They're at the gate. Gate is rolling. Still time, but you'll have to hurry. Sophomore pacing fillies, the best that the Empire State has to offer in the Empire Breeders' Classic Final. Some of the best the sport has to offer come from right here in New York. From the rail out, Alexis Faith, Majorette Angie. Solitary, I'm Trigger Happy, You Are My Candy Girl, Painted Lady, Believe in Me, and Miss Cheeseman. Feel the bait, moving up and moving in. The gate swings into the back stretch, and there they go. This field is in motion. They're all fan pacing in the Empire Breeders' Classic Final, and I'm Trigger Happy is getting the first call. Rolling right alongside, that's You Are My Candy Girl, who's been placed on the go. Angling to the pylons there in two, just ahead of in third. Alexis Faith, fourth, that's Majorette Angie. Fifth there to the pylons as they race around that opening, over to the opening quarter, that's Solitary. Followed in racing in sixth, Painted Lady. And the two trailers here, Believe in Me and Miss Cheeseman, can see them all as they reach the opening quarter in 27 3/5. And up top, You Are My Candy Girl at 1 to 9 has been placed up top by Jen Groff. They'll dictate the fractions here and leading it by a length and a half. I'm Trigger Happiest right there, racing into a gap at 2, racing third, Alexis Faith. Fourth, that's Majorette Angie. Move to the outside, racing in fifth, Painted Lady as they move around the hotel, turning on over to the half. On the inside, Solitary racing in sixth, move to the outside in seventh, that's Believe in Me, and eighth, and trailing the field, Ms. Cheeseman. They're halfway home, 56 3/5. Off the turn and straightening up for their long journey down the backside. You Are My Candy Girl with the lead here with less than 3/8 to go. I'm Trigger Happy is right there. Her nose is buried right there on Jen Graw's helmet as she continues to track along nicely in two. Outside racing in third, that's Painted Lady, buried in fourth, Alexis Faith. 3/4 in 123 and 2/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and You Are My Candy Girl has let out a few notches here and quickly opens up by 3.5, 4 lengths as she wheels to the top of Heartbreak Lane. Less than an eighth of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come in the millionaire of the group. You Are My Candy Girl, You Are My Candy Girl, a 3-year-old bay filly by American Ideal. The only question's what's the teletimer gonna say? 150 and 4/5. You Are My Candy Girl wins the Empire Breeders' Classic photo for second. Photo for second here, time to mile 150 and 4 as You Are My Candy Girl wins the Empire Breeders' Classic.
Nothing real creative there. Couldn't really get real creative when you give him a half, 56. Yeah, no one went and challenged her. But yeah. What can you do for $250,000?
Imagine being 1 to 9 for 270 and shoot off the turn by 5.
That was the old St. Elmo Hero
move.
Yeah, 1 to 5, 1 to 9, 100,000, 200,000. In those non-winners series. they used to have out at Chester, and Indiana Downs had them.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That
we
was
have
mine.
2 big ones left.
Yep. 2 more to go here
For us.
before Rod has to go fly away.
Literally 7, 8, 9.
6153.
Hey, that's odd. Why did that put in the numbers the wrong way?
Why did it put the numbers in the wrong way? We don't know.
You Are My Candy Girl dominates the Philly division. You never even asked her.
I wish I would have.
I would pay for gas.
6-1.
Among other things.
6153.
615378, followed by 9. And there's some other ones there too.
Two to go.
As we move on then to the Colt Pace, this race, if anything, seems like prime for an upset.
I like a horse in this one quite a bit.
You do like Hitman
I
Hill.
do.
Hitman Hill always seems to me like the one that's going to screw things up, but I could see him getting a trip. It's possible.
This is a typical Oaks move here.
Time to moving.
These are the kind of races he wins. So,
That's true, and we'll see what he ends up going off as the odds come up, but we're waiting for prices for the Empire Breeders' Classic Philly Final.
there we are.
Here at
Tioga Downs. Ooh.
it says Racing, Casino, and Entertainment, which is
We're just more focused on the racing.
it's strange. It's strange for you to see the racing on such display, and then the casino part is the part that's kind of a technicality at that point. Most other places don't abide by that.
Well, that's actually an old sign.
Quite an old sign.
It probably is a really old sign.
Now it's just called Casino Resort.
It's a,
It is a really nice place.
they have a water slide in the grandstand. I never really thought when I was watching races, the one thing that racing is missing is a water slide.
It's 6153 279.
It's just a personal preference. I was never a big fan of water slides to begin with. Especially when they just go straight into asphalt as it looked like that one did.
Oh, it's into a pool.
Oh, it wasn't into a pool? I missed the pool
Just
part.
had a cover on it.
I missed the pool part.
Ooh.
What's the deal with airline food? What's the deal with these prices? $220 on You Are My Candy Girl to win, $220 to place, $210 to show. Alexis Faith, $320, $230. I had to make sure it wasn't actually on. 5. I'm Trigger Happy, $2.90. $2 exact to 61430. 50-cent trifecta, $1.97. And the superfecta, $1.95 if you get solitary for 4th. Wow.
I like solitary for 4th.
It was the only horse of them we mentioned.
I mean, what do you want out of that race? I mean, it's impossible to even talk about it.
Yeah, it was.
It came exactly as it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can't really do much of
right
it.
now, 17 to 1 on the 6. Yes, please.
5 even money. No, the 3's even money too. How much is the 1?
Well, my pick 4
9
would
to
still
1.
be live.
Oh, thank you, Ron. You made it through the 1 to 9.
Will you be live? That's the question.
Nope.
Well, your eyes are still
I'm
open.
extremely stubborn, obviously.
We knew that already, though.
Yes, it's true. Sometimes it serves me well, sometimes not so much.
That sometimes happen to be now.
Yes.
To be honest, Hitman Hill 11 to 1 is not a bad price.
You're not going to get that, but...
No.
Although, the money on American history is a little bit surprising to me.
No, not to me. He gets bet all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
The one thing though is they were saying that he's gonna get the lead. I don't think so. I think Hitman gets the lead. You know, he gets the pocket.
I really hope so.
American history can't leave.
He's a stone cold grinder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's just...
That's his problem.
He's one fast speed.
Yeah.
He's one fast
He's a
speed.
nice-
Can you
he's a
run
nice
that one
horse.
by me again?
He's just not as good as these other ones, that's all.
He'd still cash some
If you
checks.
compare it to people, it's like the 400 runner against 100 runner at the beginning of the race. Like it's...
I'm sorry, that's a
100.
bad analogy. I do not
This
understand.
is an absolute brutal analogy.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Who's going to win the first 100?
Don't mind.
The 100 runner.
You're right.
Well, no, not if it's a 400. He can pace himself.
I said the first 100, which would be off the gate.
Yeah, but you don't know. Give us a diagram.
No.
You see, you aren't committing to your point well enough.
No,
which then doesn't make me want to trust it.
I do like a long shot underneath, and that's the 9, real surreal.
Really?
Yeah, I don't mind him. He splashes the town at Woodbine.
You do have an affinity for these Woodbine horses, certainly.
He's 10 from 13 in the money this year. He has a class issue, but for Stacy to ship here, usually when he ships, he has something half decent. This horse can instant ticket. He's 100 to 1. So.
Well, this horse, Ideal Feeling, was second to Courtly Choice in the elimination. Currently on the board at 31 to 1 for local trainer Michael Dieters. I mean, I'm not expecting him to gain much ground into that race because of how fast they were going, but at the same time still finished second. Has decent miles here at Tioga. Do you think maybe he's a little outclassed?
For me, he is.
Although
he's similar to the 9, but he's going to be a lot lower price because of the local connections. So.
But at the same time, his mile in the Meadowlands Pace elimination, too, wasn't terrible at all. He went first over. He's justified in quitting there. He at least tried to go against him. This is technically his first real shot against Stakes Company.
Okay.
Second to Think Big, Dream Big as well at Tompkins Gears on June 29th. There's something like there as well. Yeah. He can get off the gate. That's something to like.
Hidden lines. I do agree with you. Those back lines, especially that Meadowlands Pace line, the Gears line, both very good when you look at them now. He's 30 to 1. You could do worse. That's not a bad pick.
Wait a second. Are we doing the God Bless America thing after this race?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think so.
Okay. Because I was wondering why.
Let me double check.
I was wondering why you were down a cameraman.
We're still doing the 7th race stretch, right? And then car play after the horse play? Yes. Alright. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I wondered if you guys heard anything that would make that.
It's still on. It's just the screen turns off. Sit back.
He said, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, they're all set.
Okay. So we'll go on after the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I would probably talk to Eric about that.
I'm assuming yes.
Wherever he is.
Well, we'll just stay off.
Yeah, we'll just stay off.
We're not going to be on.
Yeah.
We'll be on here.
Yeah,
talking
we've got
about
our feed.
Talking about this race. Heavenly Sound still 9 to 1, taking more money. 26 to 1. I don't know why people take their glasses off when they're shocked, because you'd be able to see it less if you take your glasses off. Or maybe that's just something people with reading glasses do.
For dramatic effect. That could be.
I don't take mine off.
Like the same thing could be done with a hat, but you don't see people like take their hat
There's
off.
some people that do that when they're shocked. They'll take their hat off.
Those also happen to be bald people. Have you noticed that?
No.
Oh, I've noticed a coincidence there, but maybe it's just because statistically speaking, bald people are more likely to wear hats than, say, me.
Or me.
You would probably do real well with a hat.
I feel like these small little horses that we have on this table add a lot to the set.
You see, this is a lot like at Vernon when I kept dreaming about cheeseburgers. You're dreaming about these little horse statues.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I gotta be concerned for the property insurance people here at Tioga.
Now they'll disappear and I'll get blamed.
Yeah. It's kind of like saying, that starting car, it'd be a real shame if it couldn't get around the turn.
Me driving that down 81. Nobody would notice.
Yeah, right.
Put the wings out.
It could be worse.
You ain't going by me.
You could try and steal a starting gate from a thoroughbred track.
I have them lined up for miles.
I want to see a high-speed chase of that. And I do mean high-speed chase.
How fast do you really think it's going to go?
15 miles an hour.
It's got to go faster than that.
No, a tractor with a starting gate on it? You can't really pull that thing over, technically. You'd have to go that speed. It's like one of the most classic cartoon gags. A slow vehicle being followed by a giant police procession. Not like in the way that the Queen is, because she's the Queen, because these people are criminals. Although, at a certain point in British history, I guess the Queen was a criminal. I just don't remember which case. The King was definitely a criminal. This is North American British history update, by the way. And this is mostly just because we have so much time between this 7th race and the 8th race, so we don't really want to dive too deeply into the mix, because Courtly Choice is 1 to 5, 4 to 1 American history, and we like some prices, but it's really going to come down to how those prices adjust, because Courtly Choice took so much money, we don't know if it's going to solidify that way.
Man, 17 to 1. Wow.
You gotta be so technical. It's technically 1 to 5.
No, technically it's 1 to 4.
New York's the only state that recognizes, besides Canada. Canada's 1 to 4. Sometimes. I think I've seen it there.
Not in Ontario. They do it in...
I see it in New York especially.
I think they do it in Quebec.
Thanks. Pull the muscles. I feel it. I just slept incorrectly.
Which there should be a God Bless or America being coming over the intercom at any second.
Maybe they're waiting on the
The Bueller's gonna play it.
You're gonna need to take this microphone out like he's about to play something.
Ah.
There we go. Alright. That's on in.
Oh wow, Mike is Elo. He's going in.
We've got the bugler is ready.
You always gotta wait on the bugler. Unless you're James Witherite. James Witherite's always on time. That's a double entendre when you think about it, because as a musician, won't be on time. Okay.
Yeah, no.
It's never gonna come on.
Just pretending.
God bless America. Oh no! They do a different song here.
Oh yeah.
They do. Yeah, they do "America the Beautiful" Tioga. I think so.
Oh, that's the best version.
Although the part where he just screams "America" and it's kind of off tempo, it always just sounds a little awkward.
That's Ray Charles. Oh, you need that. That's like Aretha Franklin.
I'll give you that. May she rest in peace. I guess when you're Ray Charles, you gain the ability to be able to not obey the tempo.
You ever see the movie?
You know, it's still on my watch list.
It's awesome. You should watch it, like today. It's that good.
I might have time when I go home.
Well, it's a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But it's excellent. He's Jamie Foxx. Excellent.
I think he won an Oscar for that.
He should have because it's fantastic.
Or at least he was nominated. I love how we're talking over this.
I don't think it's on our feed, so we're probably
No.
okay.
No.
Maybe we have to do our own show here for once. Everyone check their phones.
John and Jason said they want to wrap up the commentary at like 2 minutes to post for this race. Okay. Yep. Alright. Yep. Alright.
I don't have a lot to say. I like one horse.
Yeah.
Although I've been complete dog shit all day.
Hello.
Ray Hodder's been quite good.
I should probably let Eric know I got that text.
We're coming back momentarily. I swear.
Alright. Ready? Alright. Gonna be quick here as they're getting ready to come onto the track. The Empire Breeders' Classic 3-year-old Colton gelding pace. Mike, for you, I know you think Hitman Hill is definitely the value, with Courtly Choice being the favorite.
Yeah, definite value. I feel like it's his turn. Loves the 5/8 mile tracks. His racing the Adios were very good. He should be up on the front here. This looks like a Grisos special to me. 12-1 right now.
I could definitely envision him getting the trip as well as the one I know you like, Rod, the one, Heavenly Sound.
Yeah, I do think that Courtly Choice is the horse to beat, obviously, but the One Heavenly Sound with the rail draw should try to get away up close and just sit there and look for a seam late and try to get there as a big price play.
Courtly Choice definitely the one to beat, but could potentially get pressed on the pace. I am a fan of Heavenly Sound and Hitman Hill to potentially upset as we get ready for the post parade for the Empire Breeders' Classic Colt Pace. Yeah, that was quick. Nice and quick. Nice and easy. 2 minutes both. Yep. They're coming out onto the track.
It is coming on the track.
I played some doubles here. I think if you like the 6, the doubles are good.
He's playing all his spots are Arthura. Have you ever heard the Portsmouth Sinfonia do this song?
I don't know why he's involving so much in. He's out of his element.
I'll tell you, look up the Portsmouth Sinfonia playing this song. It's so great. If they looked it up, they'll probably have heard it somewhere before. He's hitting the notes? I think it's because he realized he should take it down an octave. Oh, he did it. Wow, that's a lot of applause.
Messed that up.
I don't know. It was kind of... The other day we had Saratoga on, and then the one girl was singing the national anthem, and she didn't do like any way special, and everyone started clapping. The first thing I thought was someone going, "That was great! Did you write that song?" Heavenly Sound on the track, 15-1. That's an alright price, but of course this is heavily reliant on Courtly Choice getting hammered on the pace. I feel like they also went to the front last time just because in the cane pace he was just a little too far back, so they probably wanted to try and get him a bit more aggressive in the middle of the race, because that's technically what lost him, the cane pace. He just had too much ground to make up. But at this, as opposed to in the middle of his pace when he was in the perfect spot, second over. But that's also the race he wanted to win. On again, although his picks have really been off again, but on again.
Pretty off today, I have to say.
My stuff's been pretty good.
It's been good. You guys have been good. I haven't been very good. But it's usually the other way around, so.
Yeah, usually doesn't mean that much. This is also strange. This is the first time we've done 2 shows the same weekend. I have to say, not as tough as I was expecting it to be. The setup was a bit more tedious.
We should have heard you last night.
Oh yeah,
you were having a moment.
We had to stop at a gas station and grab more tampons for him.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know,
we're getting more serious.
I'm a big fan of using women as a source of a punchline. That's really where I want to go on this show.
I wasn't using women. I said tampon.
I don't. What kind of guy?
Yes. Well, we're just saying that you have your period, right? That has nothing against women. It's more against you.
I don't know. In comparison to the wine, you guys are the grave diggers here, and I'm Peter in this case, and I'm not gonna open the gates for you guys.
I'm not thinking Peter right now. No.
You're thinking Patty. I know. Because it's almost lunchtime. Well, it's past lunchtime. I'm thinking Patty too. I'm starting to get hungry.
3:41.
On the East Coast.
It's a good thing we ate enough at the buffet this morning to.
That's true.
Kill.
To kill? To kill. I've only seen that happen one time. It was in Monty Python's Meaning of Life.
Settlemore calling this one too?
No, Corn is.
Oh, they let him.
Alright. Scoring down now for the Empire Breeders' Classic Colt Final. Favorite still here on the board, the 5 Courtly Choice, currently at 3-5. The 3 American History also taking some money at 2-1. Hitman Hill, this horse seemed like a lot of value, but Mike 6-1. I'm starting to kind of lose my interest.
I'm still interested at 6 to 1. I think there's some value in the 9. Maybe to hit the try or the super at 61 to 1. This horse has raced well at Woodbine this year. It's getting better. In the elimination was third. Can trip out, I think, does have a big kick. Stacy usually doesn't ship unless he has something decent. So I like the connections. 60 to 1 can spice up the exotics.
I'm seeing 17 to 1 currently on the 1 Heavenly Sound, which Rod, we were talking about Western Fame earlier. I didn't think he was that as much a win contender as I probably should have. 17 to 1 though here on Heavenly Sound. I think if the pace sets up, he can certainly win this race.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially from the rail. That's a big advantage. And like I said earlier, if he just fires out of there and secures position early, I think he's got a good shot to let a few things happen in front of him and make up the ground late and hopefully pull the upset.
And it all, of course, is dependent on whether anyone goes after Courtly Choice around at the same time what Courtly Choice wants to do. Sometimes you see favorites like this have the race go through them, and it's certainly the case here because Courtly Choice is one that will either come from off the pace or will sit up close. We don't know. We'll find out. I think there's a potential upset in Heavenly Sound. A lot can happen here in the Empire Breeders' Classic Final as the starter car moves into position out to the announcer's booth for the call of the Empire Breeders' Classic Final. This is the second to last. Let's get John Horn up on the audio.
This is the last call. Gate opens for the Empire Breeders' Classic. This is for Colton Geldings. Purse of over $272,000, and we're lining up as the gate is rolling. Current favorite is the 5 Courtly Choice at 3 to 4. The 3 American History right now at 2 to 1. So we go inside to out as they head around the hotel turn. The 1 is Heavenly Sound at 2. Keystone Tenacious to 3. American History the 4. Mock and Cheese the 5. Courtly Choice the 6. Hitman Hill the 7. Idea Feeling the 8. Ghost Dance the 9. Real Surreal. They head to the box stretch. They are ready to go. And they're rough and racing. Empire Breeders' Classic, a pretty good start. On the outside, going for the lead, that's Hitman Hill and Brett Miller. Like he likes to do on the inside. Second is American History. Now on the outside, trying to get a spot. Early's caught outside, may have to go all the way around, is Courtly Choice. And Courtly Choice is going to have to take the lead. Racing for it best now is Keystone Tenacious. Mid-pack fifth for Heavenly Sound. 2 lengths to Ideal Feeling as they come to the stands for the first time. First quarter goes by in 26 and 4, and leading the charge is Courtly Choice. David Miller has the favorite there by a length and 3/4. Second is Hitman Hill, 2.5 lengths since American History. Third, racing fourth, Keystone Tenacious. Going to the outside, fifth is Heavenly Sound. Racing sixth is Ideal Feeling. Ghost Dances there as well as they head around the hotel turn. The trailers, Real Surreal and Suak to Mock and Cheese at 54 and 4 at 28 second quarters. They've reached the top of the back stretch. On the inside, it's Courtly Choice. The lead is a length. On the outside now with some pressure is American History and Yannick Gingras. Right there, racing third is Hitman Hill. A length and 3/4. Fourth, it's Keystone Tenacious. Up on the outside, fifth, Heavenly Sound. Not going very hard, but is out there fifth. Inside sixth for Ghost Dance. Now going 3 wide is Idea Feeling. 3 quarters go by in 1:21 and 1. On the inside is still Courtly Choice. Being pressured on the outside by American History. The 2 favorites will go at it as they reach the stretch. And it's still Courtly Choice leading it 2 lengths. Sitting back now, American History is just going to have to watch. It's all Courtly Choice and David Miller in front, 148 and 3. Track record for 3-year-old folks. And 148 and 3. Finishing first was the 5, Courtly Choice.
We're back. Courtly Choice did not get any pressure, and he was just fast enough to wire him 2-5. American History chased second. He was also second best according to the board at 3-1. Real Surreal looked like got up for third at 90-1 over Hitman Hill.
Yeah, that's just kind of.
Yep, the 9 got third. At 90-1.
Told you.
Yeah. Shouldn't have doubted you there. But that's
I know my
If you didn't know,
you also
that's
got
a
lucky.
track record.
You also got lucky too, because sometimes you got to recognize that a lot of these horses, because they went so fast, just couldn't keep up, and he happened to be one of them that could.
He got the turbine vision. I figured he could get something like that from the back. This horse has shown big kicks at Woodbine earlier. I mean, his lines don't really look like it. The half-mile tracks, his lines aren't that great, but he's bigger. The 5/8 certainly suits him.
Mm-hmm. So we got 5, 3, 9, 6.
5, 3, 9, 6.
That's 2-5, over 3-1, over 6-1, or 10-1, over 90-1. You're up 10-1? Wow. Well, poorly choice went down 2-5. One more to go. One more to go. And then we run back to our hotel room, pack up, and get out of here. Actually, you're the only one that's
Probably
on.
not very good.
It's nice. Although Vernon has a pull-out couch, I don't know why you guys don't have a pull-out couch.
This is way nicer than Vernon.
Especially when there's 3 people.
Yeah, true. Well, you guys had to get the room yourselves. That's a shame because somebody should have put you up in them.
No, we got it.
Yeah, that sucks. No, they got it for us. Oh, I see.
Yeah, so if they're listening currently, more pull-out couches. However, you can always use more pull-out couches. Yeah.
Ray needs the suite.
Anyone wants the suite.
Because I'm the old man, I get the bed by myself.
Well,
It's also one, not me.
Well, you barely move. Mike, you kick. You take up half the freaking bed.
What can I say?
Actually, more than half. That's not a fat joke either. It's just you. You don't sleep in the most efficient angle.
I'm going to beat you off there.
Rethink what you just said. They're in the winner's circle right now. There's Courtly Choice. And I'm kind of chalking out here towards the end, unfortunately.
We're trying to get prices. It's difficult.
Yeah.
2-5 wins every race. It's hard for me to make money.
Well, I mean, 2-5 winning every race is a sign that it's been chalking out.
The best horses are winning.
Yeah.
At least we mentioned some of the, we're mentioning a lot of these winners or these horses that are hitting the board at big prices.
Yep. There's track record, 40-3. I don't know what that equals.
That's a good. It's huge, actually.
Yeah.
48-2.
The 6 was sitting perfect, and he could not go with the winner at all.
No. Many of them couldn't.
That was nice.
I mean, he's a Grand Circuit horse against New York Sire Stake horses.
I mean, I'm trying to get out prices here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and give you 2-5. Sorry.
And we don't want you to.
Thanks. One to go.
This race could be the upset. Could be, is the word.
Well, you got 15 to 1 to start the Big Four.
Well, I mean, it's more so. This race looks like someone should challenge Chardon. Someone should challenge Chardon. This mic is connected to the driver's room. Someone please challenge Chardon. It's not. It's off actually.
Well, my pick 2 weeks ago on Hambo Day in the Lady Liberty was Apple Bottom Jeans, and she raced big.
That's the race pick now.
I like her here. I think she's gonna hit the ticket. But
Oh, you like her, and then you say you think she's gonna hit the ticket. That seems like it's you like her less then.
yeah, I just think Sharton is gonna be tough to beat.
She won by a neck 2 starts back. She won by a half length last out. That neck was at Pocono Downs.
That was also first over.
Should have prices in here.
Applause for a track record. You don't hear that often anymore. I don't know if I'm down there. I don't know why I'd applaud.
Okay, chalk in the 9.
Well, yeah, you get a $2 exacta 5-3 for $6.40, and the 50-cent trifecta pays $40.62, almost 10 times that for a fourth of the price. You know, Courtly Choice 280, 210, 210. The 3 American History 250, 280. That's okay, and then the 9 Real Surreal 750. Let's not forget the 10-cent Superfecta 5396. Getting Hitman Hell for fourth gets you $43.65.
Yeah. So if you looked at the NAHUPicks.com website, those are my top 4 picks. Obviously in a box, but you know, for $1, it's a $400 super. It's not horrible.
I wonder if anyone had for $1 then.
It was playable that way.
It's only $24 to get you $400.
Did I play it that way?
No. You played doubles, but I can't play
I was trying to catch a price.
Yeah.
So.
All right, odds now for the Art Escape.
Well, somehow Pen Pal's 5-2. I don't know what's
5-2.
5-2 on Pen Pal. Oh, that's funny.
Somebody needs to cancel that bet.
How much money's in the pool right now, though?
Probably $50.
Yeah.
1,000.
Oh my God! Someone bet a crap ton on Pen Pal.
Someone bet $250 on Pen Pal. On a front end racetrack, and a horse that runs would be last early. Good luck.
Not only that, has not raced a Grand Circuit company since the Golden Girls, where she was 9th. That's gonna change in a second. Sharton should be like 4 to 5 here. There's Pen Pal as the favorite. It's all like this is something like probably real big bettors like to do. Just place a bunch of money into a small pool early on, just to make people go, what?
And right now, like Pure Country's 14. That's obviously not gonna stay.
Oh, that's not gonna stay at all.
Have to take one more swing depending on her odds.
What about Nike Franco here? That race last time did come flying home late, but it seemed like the outer flow was the place to be there in that Lady Liberty.
But she was inside, wasn't she?
She was outside Nike Franco. She was on cover the entire way.
She had no chance. I mean, she was way too far back.
But they did go really fast.
But they didn't. The outer flow didn't go anywhere. That was the problem. They just sat there.
They didn't go anywhere. Your country came flying late there.
No, they just sat there the whole race, and then when they turned for home, then everybody fanned out.
Yeah, European was wide the entire time. She kept digging to the wire. This is a good race. I think Blue Moon Shad raced very well in that same race from the 11 hole. So.
These odds are staying right now. This is weird. Oh. We're going to get the track record here again. Oh no. There it is. 5-3-9-6.
How about what this horse has become? We were at Woodbine. This horse was, remember, just came back off the layoff. And won like a, nowhere's a 2.
He keeps following us.
Yeah. Now we've seen him at, a bunch of different places. He just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this 9th race coming up in about 11 minutes.
I think this is the best betting race.
Oh, that's right. Horseplay is coming out, so we'll come on after horseplay.
What is that?
That's where they throw the rubber ponies into the car.
Oh, yes. We're throwing ponies.
Why don't they have rubber chickens?
Because
this is a horseplay.
Yeah, this isn't chicken race. Oh, we're good to go? All right. They did go a little fast up front, but Courtly Choice just had the speed to hold them off. Not only to hold them off, but also go and break the track record here at Tioga Downs at odds of 2 to 5 American History. Then second best on the tote board, also second best at the wire. Mike, though, you were keen on Real Surreal. He went up to get third at 90 to 1 there to complete that triple that paid almost 10 times more for a quarter of the price than the exacta. So I want to applaud you on that one. Although you could have been doing a little bit better today, you redeemed yourself on that one there. It only takes one. That's one thing you learn in horse racing. You can lose 5, but it takes 1 to make up for all of it. We move on then to the final race we'll be covering here this afternoon at Tioga Downs, the Art Escape Open Mare Pace. It's the final stakes event on the card, a purse of $161,000, and we have Sharton here, the big mare pacer in this division, with over close to $700,000 earned just this season alone. Yet Pen Pal somehow is taking a whole ton of money. Now the odds are adjusting. Pen Pal is the favorite at 5 to 2. She hasn't raced at Stakes Company since the Golden Girls back on July 14th, but she's now up to be 3-1. Sharton's starting to take the place she deserves. And Rod, a horse like this at this level, you have to think she's probably around like 3-5, 2-5.
Oh, absolutely. She's going to be a dead favorite. 13 for 17 on the year, on the win end, almost 700,000, like you said. I think she's second right now in North America in earnings for the season. So, she's going to be tough to beat. And at 2-1 right now, you're not going to see that at post time. She's going to be under even money. But for me, I'm going to look for a price play because Sharton is vulnerable sometimes. So, the 4 Apple Bottom Jeans, I know you're on this one as well, raced huge in the Lady Liberty last time out at the Meadowlands and never got clear sailing until really late in that race and just came flying in the final 16th and made up a ton of ground. Needed maybe 10 steps and was by everybody. So I'm going to throw her on top as well and hope that she gets there. Right now, 12-1, great price on her, and she should be following Sharton right off the wings.
Well, let's not forget an even better price here on the 8 Pure Country, currently at 15-1. There's no way that holds, and if it does end up holding, then I might need to take both these fists straight to the betting window. That's an absurdly high price on this mare, who's making her second start since the Golden Girls, where she finished third on a covered trip. She parked the mile last out in the Lady Liberty to just miss beating Sharton. And Mike, the thing with Sharton in this race, to me, it seems like there are some mares that could potentially press her, and she's shown with those slight margins of victory that maybe, just maybe, if that's the case, a horse like Pure Country come flying late.
I think it's hard to maintain that top level too, for an extended period of time. And Sharton's known for an occasional blow up. It does happen. Pure Country was fantastic on Hambo Day. Just missed. Really raced extremely well. I like Yannick getting on here. I expect her to be blasting off early and be very close to the pace. I can't believe right now she's 11-1. I don't think that's going to hold. Probably going to end up 4 or 5-1. That's still exceptional value on a horse that, has been at the top level for 3 straight years. She's always ready, and I feel towards the middle and the end of the years when she really starts to get good. She's a huge contender in the race.
Another horse taking money here on the board, currently at 3-1, the 5 Nike Franco. This one entering off a 5th place finish in the Lady Liberty. It was another one that was flying late, and that seems to be a trend with a lot of these mares. The pace was really starting to slow down approaching that wire, maybe because of the added distance, but either way, she was flying home on a covered trip. Though 3-1 to me, Rod, seems a little bit low.
Yeah, probably just a touch low. She's got a great final speed to her. So, she should take money, but, her thing is a trip. That's really what she needs. If she doesn't get it, I don't see her hitting the ticket, and the price is not justified, I don't think.
Blue Moon Stride at 9-2 as well. Another one that has done really well at this open mare pacing division, but the one concern is that she always seems to finish just evenly, not really gaining ground into the stretch. And as we saw with some of the other ones like Apple Bottom Jeans and Nike Franco, they had a much more furious late kick than a horse like Blue Moon Stride, who is perfectly positioned second over. Mike, does this one seem to be going a bit backwards or just maybe just starting to flatten out?
I don't think so. I think she's had bad posts the last 2 races. She fits with these, and she's not an every week kind, but she's one that can produce a huge effort, given the chance. And I think if she gets a trip, especially drawn well in here, could get a little bit of a breather early, maybe end up second up again. She'll be live late, and you're getting 5-1.
Another good one that off of a trip is currently 28-1, the 6 LA Delight, entering off a break in the Lady Liberty, basically taken out of the race as a result. But before that, had been 6th in the Golden Girls, sat at the rail, kind of chased the rest of the way, but has a really decent line up at Mohawk, and the roses are red. The question here, though, Rod, is a horse entering off a break like that, do you expect her to maybe kind of take back and try and get carried into the mix?
It's 50-50. She's a versatile horse, so I'm not going to worry about that break. So, we'll just kind of toss that line out.
Well, it's post-parade time for the final staked race on the afternoon, the $161,000 Art Escape Open Mare Pace, downstairs to the parade. He's having fun.
Alright, last one, boys.
Yep. So remind me again, I'm taking the mics and the mixer, you're taking just the snowball. Yeah. Okay, so you might as well just take the snowball then and then get going, and then Mike and I can pack up.
I gotta take my camera.
And the camera. We're plotting our escape momentarily, which we kind of had an idea of because we didn't know if we were going to be doing as well as we were today, and we might have to make a quick exit.
Yeah, you never know how things are going to go with us. I mean, this is our second show in 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, Rod's booked flights like up against the wall. So,
He's already getting ready to go. He might as well.
We were in the car last night, and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta fly out at 9 o'clock." I'm like, "Oh no."
I kept thinking it was AM Monday. I'm going, but wait, you gonna stay overnight?
So, Rod's gonna sprout wings and fly to Philadelphia, and then fly home.
Oh, if only it were that easy.
Yeah, in the car that we had to go rent this morning. You see what we do for this show?
That's what I meant early on.
Yeah.
Like I said at the pregame, that either shows our dedication to being here or our struggle to solving the simple of logistics.
So we could get some other things too. We could get like horses like this to decorate the set.
Those cost like $5 on Etsy.
Good, we're getting them.
You can get them.
I'm getting them.
Okay.
I'm getting them.
You know, Sharton's only 9 to 5. This is really strange to me.
I can't believe the 8-7 to 1.
Yeah.
Rod, will you run to the window for me?
There's a window in the owner's box downstairs.
Go. Go bet me 40 to 1 on the 8. Why? I have it on me.
Meanwhile, the Wi-Fi kind of just cut out here, on the radio at least. Well, the radio's back on. We've had some shoddy Wi-Fi with the radio, unfortunately. But we're back up here on SRN1, as we usually are on these big days, as well as just on Friday nights in general when we're back at the homesteads.
Oh yes, we have.
Which is like next week.
Yeah, will we actually be doing a home show next week?
I'd
For
imagine.
the first time in how long?
It's up to you
Like
guys.
seriously, like 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's a long time. I was thinking about that because I haven't uploaded a single video onto the channel in a month. Almost a month over.
And yet we've done a lot of content.
There's a ton of content that's been put out there.
NAHUpicks.com, Woodbine, Running Aces,
Meadowlands when it was still going.
Meadowlands when it races, Western Fair, you know, lots of good stuff on there. God knows I put a lot of work into it.
I still can't believe Penn Pal opened up the favorite. That was funny.
And still 6 to 1. She's lower than the 8.
That is hilarious.
If this horse wins, we're gonna have to go home.
We should go over at that point.
I mean,
Win Some Glory though, 23 to 1. That's not a bad price.
I use that horse in Maltese, which I'm out of because I'm dumb. But that's, you know. I want to see what these are paying, by the way.
Might as well.
Will pays pick 4. A 3 is a massive $50.
For 50 cents?
For no.
Oh my
25
God.
to 50 cents. Wow.
Just with Western fame.
Yeah. The 8's 261. The 1's $1,000 for $1, 1,100. 372 on the 2, 50 for the 3, 392 for the 4, 294 for the 5, 785 for the 6, 3,500 for the 7, 261 the 8, and 471 the.
All right, I believe we're good to go. One more here for us this afternoon at Tioga Downs. It is the $161,000 Art Escape Open Mare Pace. Don't forget, there are still races going on after this. It's just we have flights to make that were not planned out entirely correctly. But that said, that doesn't mean you have to leave like us. Current favorite on the board at 6 to 5, the 3 Sharp. Now she's starting to go farther and farther down on the betting board as she was 3 to 1 opening up, but the odds are starting to level out. Yet Pure Country still 5 to 1. That's way different from the 15 to 1, but still going down in price. Mike, you starting to get a bit worried?
No, I'm okay with the price. I mean, she was 290 to 1 against Sharton at the Meadowlands the last time. You know, she's drawn a little wide, but
extremely capable, 5-1, more than fair on this horse.
In terms of other prices, the one I talked about, the 4, well, I didn't talk about the one yet, but I might as well. Win Sun Glory has been one that's raced really well against the open mares in the past and has also just benefited off of trips. She has the rail here this time at 27-1. If the race potentially sets up for Sharton to lose, as it could if just one horse goes out after her, then maybe a horse like Win Sun Glory 30-1 at the very least just gets the ticket.
Well, I liked her on Ambo Day. I thought she had a good chance, but took a stone shuffle and had really no shot. Still finished up to be 6th after being 11 at the top of the stretch. Prior to that, the 2 lines before that are very good. Kicked 26-1, 25-3. Those are huge kickers at the end of miles. Any kind of rally like that again puts her right there.
And Apple Bottom Jeans now up on the board at 21-1. That's a price I'm also liking to potentially beat Sharton. This is one that has gate speed in the past, and if she gets forwardly placed with a potential pace setup, it could play in her favor. That said, we're going to send it off one last time to the announcer's booth for the final stakes race this afternoon, the $161,000 Art Escape Open Mare Pace. We North American Harness Update would like to thank Tioga Downs for hosting us. That said, John, one more time around for these stakes, and then don't forget, there's a couple more left to go. Thank you very much. All right, one more.
To the top of the back stretch for the Art Escape. They are ready to go. And they are off. Leaving from the outside, Caviar Alley on the far inside, Winsome Glory. In between horses now, Blue Moon Stride racing fourth, the favorite Sharton. 5th best right now for Pure Country will follow. Racing 6th is Apple Bottom Jeans. A gap of 3 lengths to Nike Franco. The trailers LA Delights and Pen Pal as they get ready to head for the stands for the first time. And Andrew McCarthy has Cardian Alley in the top spot right now. First quarter goes by in 26-2. Racing 2nd best on the inside. It's Blue Moon Stride on the outside. Here comes the favorite, Tim Tetrick with Sharton. Now will battle for take the lead. With 5/8 of a mile to go. Racing 4th, Winsome Glory. About 6 out 5th. It's Pure Country, followed by Apple Bottom Jeans as they head around the hotel turn. Racing 7th best is Nike Franco. Got 2 horses beat LA Delights. And Pen Pal has the best view, the half. 54-2 at 28 seconds. Second quarter for the leader. Sharton leads it now a length and a half. Second best is Caviar Alley on the outside. First over, here comes Pure Country and Yannick Gingras within 2.5 lengths. Inside, racing 4th is Blue Moon Stride. Second over, 5th on the outside is Apple Bottom. He's inside, nowhere to go for Winsome Glory. On the outside, 7th, Nike Franco. The trailers remain LA Delayed, Pen Pal. 3 quarters, 122-2. The lead still belongs to Sharton as they make that turn for home on the outside. Apple Bottom Jeans, Jimmy Marone Jr. trying to get involved as they reach that stretch. The lead is 2 lengths for Sharton. In the pocket comes Caviar Alley on the outside. Apple Bottom Jeans, nobody's going to get to him. It's her, it's Sharton, and in front wins it by 3/4 of a length. Caviar Alley, second time of the race, 150 flat. Sharton victorious.
That said, that does it.
She beats the 9, Caviar Alley.
That said, that does it for us here at NAHU Picks and North American Harness Update. Sharton holds off all challengers to win the $161,000 Art Escape Open Mare Pace with Caviar Alley getting second. Looked like Apple Bottom Jeans was up for third, if I'm not mistaken. I think I was. Yep. And then Nike Franco got fourth. So 3-5, 12-1, 18-1, 8-1 in that last race. I have been Ray Catola. They're Mike Prebosi, Rod Allums Jr. We will be back for our regular show this Friday, whatever the date that is, August 24th, I think, for a regular show. But that said, we have to get out and rolling. Thank you for tuning in for our coverage of the stakes action Sunday afternoon at Tioga Downs. Till next time.